Today on Your Morning Atlantic, serious allegations involving a youth in Nova Scotia. Your top news headlines just ahead. Also, Lori Becker-Jackman will be in to talk about keeping your grocery costs down in this time of political uncertainty.
And have you started your spring cleaning? Our friend and queen of that cleaning hacks, Sherry French, will join us to share all of her tips to help make it a little bit easy to clean this spring. That and so much more just ahead on your Thursday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Hi, come on in. 6:01. We're having a fun little game of musical chairs this week on the show. Amanda's off on March break. So we had Suzette, you get to sit in this chair today. Suzette Bellybo's back. She's in news today for Amanda.
Yeah, it's nice to, move around. Yeah, musical chairs, like you said.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. And then you're back.
Yes, I'm back.
Yay.
Quick return.
But you know what? You left me a good day to do the weather yesterday.
Thankfully, yes.
Which was
right?
great. I'm glad I didn't have all that nasty weather.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Latavia.
She gave you a light day.
Yeah, that was good.
Now, my husband, hilariously, he had his bone to pick with you, Suzette, I guess, because you did the wedding. She's like, Suzette was talking about the sun all day, which I get, but it's very cold.
Yes, I mentioned it was cold.
I thought so, too.
We said it's cold because it is March, temperatures
Exactly.
hovering around zero, but nice to see the sun.
It's March. I said, just take the sun. It's a gift. The day before, we had basically a monsoon.
Exactly. We had the warm temperatures, the bad weather, then yesterday we had the cold weather, but beautiful sunshine. Pretty much the same today.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to see a mix of sun and cloud for much of the region. Sunshine across Atlantic Canada. Colder this morning yet again, so keep that in mind when you are heading out early this morning. In Halifax, it is -7 starting off your day. That's not even factoring in that wind chill. We are going to see a bit of flurry activity return for parts of the region as well. -8 starting off your day in Fredericton, -9 in Charlottetown with -6 degrees in Sydney, -35 in Labrador City. So definitely is cool down across Labrador today. -7 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill. So not too bad, but definitely feeling colder than our current temperatures. Newfoundland and Labrador colder as well. Across Labrador, there is a risk of frostbite in the morning. In terms of our satellite and radar, as I mentioned, as the sun begins to rise, you'll be seeing lots of sunshine right across Atlantic Canada. We do have a few flurries returning across parts of the region as well into the afternoon. Other than that, though, winds starting off quite light will continue to pick up a bit breezy today into the afternoon. As of right now, though, 19 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 13 in Canso, 11 in Lunenburg, with no wind gusts to report at this time. We'll take a look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Suzette.
Thank you so much, Latavia. Well, a youth from Bridgewater appeared in court yesterday morning, accused of plotting an attack at the local high school. Police allege it was part of a bigger plan that included a coordinated attack in Manitoba. CTV's Jonathan McGuinness explains.
Bridgewater police were tipped off last Friday about online chatter that included a plan to attack Parkview Education Center.
It was specific to killing and murdering other students.
The information about the attack came from Interpol, which is an international police organization, and the FBI. Police say the 15-year-old Bridgewater youth was communicating with another youth in Manitoba. Investigators believe the two were allegedly planning a simultaneous attack at Parkview and at Rivers Collegiate in the community of Rivers.
Neither attack was imminent, but obviously if you're in a planning phase or a chatting phase about a school attack, that's a concern to police enforcement.
No specific individuals were mentioned in the plan. During a search of the youth's home, investigators seized imitation weapons, a crudely made pipe bomb, clothing with hate symbols, and electronic devices. The youth is facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder and uttering threats to cause death. At this point, investigators don't believe anyone else in Nova Scotia is involved. Deputy Chief Danny McPhee says there could be more charges laid against the Bridgewater youth once they go through the electronic items that were seized. Jonathan McGuinness, CTV News, Bridgewater.
And some stunning news from a Nova Scotia MLA who says police are investigating after intimate images of him and his wife were shared after he refused to pay a blackmail demand. Rick Burns, the PC member for Hammonds Plains Lucasville, says hackers first got into his email and demanded money, which he declined to pay. He says the criminals then accessed his devices, copied pictures and videos, and posted them. In a statement last night, Burns said to have such intimate images accessed and released is a gross violation of our privacy and is completely unacceptable. This is bigger than me. This is a gross violation of my wife's privacy, and we are both victims of a grotesque crime. I realize that being an elected official comes with increased scrutiny. No one signs up for having their privacy violated, and in this manner, and no politician's partner deserves to be targeted in this way. He said, adding that law enforcement were investigating. And his boss was quick to add his support in a statement last night, saying he was deeply troubled by the news. Premier Houston said no one should ever be subjected to this kind of violation. When criminals target public officials with blackmail, they are attempting to compromise the people Nova Scotians have chosen to represent them and shake the very core of our democracy. We cannot and will not accept a climate where serving your community in public life makes you and your family a target for extortion. And finally, this might be a first. Some Nova Scotians are criticizing an item in the New Brunswick budget, and they're getting support from neighbors who are also upset by the province's plan to start charging tolls along the Trans-Canada Highway near the border. CTV's Derek Haggett has reaction.
The thought of having to pay a couple of bucks to enter New Brunswick isn't sitting well with people in the border town of Amherst.
I don't like it.
I think it's just terrible.
When I found out about it, I just thought it's kind of a silly idea.
The New Brunswick government announced the toll in its provincial budget yesterday, estimating it will bring in over $10 million in revenue per year. The news, a bit of a shock to the mayor of Amherst.
This added tax, because quite frankly, that's what a toll is. It's a tax. And I think that, unfortunately, we're going to bear the brunt of it here in Cumberland County and Amherst.
Out-of-province vehicles traveling on the Trans-Canada will have to pay a fee at a tolling station to be built in the Olac area.
I think it's just terrible. It's a tax on the local residents here more than it is a tax on people driving through New Brunswick as it is intended. About 1/3 of the workforce from Amherst leaves to go to work in New Brunswick every day.
It's hard on especially minimum wage workers. It's hard for them to go back and forth and still make a living. If you're going for pleasure, it's a little bit more understandable.
It's going to slow sales down also for businesses in Amherst and probably New Brunswick with the toll. People don't want to pay extra money to go into a province.
The amount is yet to be determined, but a spokesperson for the province tells CTV News it could be similar to the $4 per vehicle toll at the Cobequid Pass in Nova Scotia.
People that have to go to the Moncton Hospital, George Dumont, those things, extra cost to them, and those it's hard times right now.
The province of New Brunswick says the exact location of the tolling station in the Olac area is still yet to be determined. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Amherst, Nova Scotia.
Certainly something we will be keeping our eyes on.
Thank you, Suzette.
Yeah,
First look at news on this Thursday morning. This is news you can use. In case you missed it, Toyota has issued a recall for nearly 40,000 of its Highlander models because of improper manufacturing. So the 2021, 22 and 23 models of Toyota Highlander and Highlander Hybrid are affected. The issue is with the second row seat back recliners because they may not be locking properly and could move in the event of a collision. So Toyota is working on a free repair campaign. Owners will receive a letter by mail in May, but you can check online to see if your vehicle is impacted. Dealers are advising not to use the seats in the meantime.
That is good news you can use. A lot of people driving Toyotas around here.
It's a nice car.
Yeah, oh yeah, really nice SUV. All right, well, we still have a lot more to come this morning. We're just kicking things off here on this Thursday. Latavia has an important look at the forecast, of course, heading into spring tomorrow.
Yep.
Hey, that's wonderful. And then, of course, we have a look at your national and international headlines on this Thursday morning. All right, here's a live look at Moncton at this hour. All is calm, all is quiet. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 6:12 on your Thursday morning. We're taking a live look at a dark start to the day over in Charlottetown. A bit colder this morning, -8 degrees starting off your day. We are seeing cooler air continue to move through across Atlantic Canada. Temperatures will warm up just a bit, a little bit later on. As of right now, -9 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, -6 in Sydney, -7 degrees early this morning in Halifax, -22 in Happy Valley Goose Bay, and -8 in St. John's, Newfoundland. So today is the last official day of winter. Tomorrow is the first official day of spring, and we are going to see a beautiful sunny day ahead. So today we have a bit of cloudiness for parts of New Brunswick as well as Newfoundland. Other than that, though, looking at mainly sunny skies to a mix of sun and cloud throughout your day today. Into the afternoon, could see a chance of some flurry activity, looking at around a 30% chance of it happening for parts of mainland Nova Scotia, Cape Breton Island, and parts of Labrador. Other than that, though, sunshine will be sticking around into the early hours of this evening, and then increasing cloudiness expected for much of Atlantic Canada, taking us into tonight. We do have a chance of flurries and or snow moving in for parts of New Brunswick. Other than that, into Friday's forecast for the first official day of spring, sunshine returns, but also so does a chance of some snow and or rain. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, we aren't going to see any accumulation from this current system. Only looking around 1 to 5 centimeters for Labrador City, 1 to 15 for parts of Newfoundland. Into our forecast today for New Brunswick, lots of sunshine starting off the day with a mix of sun and cloud. Into the afternoon, looking at a chance of some isolated flurries for parts of the province. Other than that, daytime highs ranging from -1 to 3 degrees and wind gusts of 40. Prince Edward Island highs between -2 to 0. A mix of sun and cloud today as well. You'll be seeing a chance of flurries into the evening, wind gusts of 40 as well. And then for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same, but we do have a chance of some isolated flurries for Cape Breton Island into the afternoon. And daytime highs will range from -3 to 2 degrees. For the rest of Nova Scotia, lots of sunshine as well. For mainland Nova Scotia into the afternoon, a chance of some isolated flurries. And daytime highs will range from -1 to 3 degrees. For Labrador City today, -11 degrees, mainly sunny skies, flurries into the afternoon as well. -3 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and cloud into the evening, starting to see snow arrive. So for our Friday forecast, we do have snow and or rain for parts of the Maritime region. Into Labrador, we are going to see some snowfall as well as into parts of Newfoundland. And then into Friday night, temperatures cool back down yet again. Snow and or rain expected into the weekend on Saturday, and a chance of showers and or flurries for parts of Nova Scotia. That's a look at weather forecast. We'll flip things over to Suzette.
Thank you so much, Latavia. Love to see spring on the way tomorrow. All right, national and international news now. The war in the Middle East continues to escalate, and the price of oil continues to rise. In Washington, U.S. intelligence leaders were grilled on Capitol Hill about how imminent the threat from Iran was. CTV's Joy Malvin has more.
Arriving in Dover for a dignified transfer, President Donald Trump honoring 6 service members killed in a refueling air crash as the U.S. military took new action in Iran, dropping multiple 5,000-pound bunker buster bombs targeting Iranian ammunition storage sites. As global oil prices skyrocket, Trump is determined to get the oil flowing through the Strait of Hormuz, with or without support from U.S. allies.
We've had no support from, essentially, no support from NATO.
The president's top intelligence officials grilled on Capitol Hill over what evidence justified attacking Iran now.
Did you brief the president, if he starts a war of choice, that the likely result would be that Iran would strike adjacent Gulf nations and close the Strait of Hormuz?
I have not and won't divulge internal conversations.
Democrats are clearly frustrated. Asked if the president's strikes on Iran's nuclear sites in June obliterated the nuclear program, why go to war now?
Was it the assessment of the intelligence community that there was a, quote, imminent nuclear threat posed by the Iranian regime, yes or no?
Senator, the only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
False. This is the worldwide. This is
Trump's intelligence director says it's not her job to determine what is an imminent threat to the homeland, as her chief of staff, Joe Kent, just resigned in protest, suggesting President Trump was duped into war, blaming Israel. U.S. intelligence officials were clear on one thing. Iran's leadership has been degraded but remains intact and will almost certainly seek revenge for the killing of its leaders.
And since the start of the war, Lebanon's capital, Beirut, has been pounded by Israeli attacks targeting Iran's ally, Hezbollah. The escalating violence and humanitarian crisis in that country is also escalating concerns for Canadians still in the region. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
A multi-story apartment in central Beirut decimated. The Israeli military claimed the building was being used by the Iran-backed Hezbollah militant group. Targeting 4 buildings in 8 hours, Israel stepped up airstrikes in Lebanon on Wednesday. Lebanese officials say at least 10 people were killed. It's just pain. They don't have targets anymore, this man says. Strikes also damaged bridges and a gas station in southern Lebanon. Since March 2nd, according to Lebanon's health ministry, more than 900 people have been killed, thousands injured, and another 1 million displaced.
Children and families who have fled their homes with barely nothing, who are sleeping on the street for a couple of days until they figure out where to go.
Canadian Ahmed Araji has been in Lebanon assisting with humanitarian efforts. Last week, he told CTV News he wanted to stay, but he's now changed his mind after having to flee his hotel due to nearby explosions.
But I never imagined in my life that I would have to flee an area, escape an area because my life was in danger. So going through that made me realize that maybe I need to pack my bags and go back home.
This week, Canada joined European allies expressing grave concerns about the escalating violence.
The humanitarian situation is worsening.
While condemning Hezbollah, world leaders are calling for a political solution.
Here's a chance, I think, for Canada to really show its diplomatic leverage.
The federal government has recently promised $37 million in humanitarian aid for civilians in Lebanon.
A quick break. When we return, though, your must-see moment from our colleagues at TSN. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back. It's 6:19.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
I feel like that folky music is just not the right choice for
No,
that, for
it
that
wasn't
bit
the
of
vibe.
information. No, but thank heaven that's over. All right, it's 6:23 and time now to check in with our friends at TSN Sports Center for today's must-see moment.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, we head to Houston. The Rockets hosting the Lakers. Marcus Smart lobs one up for LeBron James, looking a whole lot younger than his 41 years of age, reaching way back to throw down the one-hander, showing off the hops and landing him our must-see moment for the day. And from the NBA's elder statesman to the youth of the NCAA, March Madness is finally here. Our coverage of the first round on TSN begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
And now time for your business headlines from our colleagues over at BNN.
Iran struck a major natural gas facility today in Qatar, which spiked the price of oil again. The state-owned refinery took a hit and extensive damage is reported. This deepens the Middle East crisis, which most had hoped would end with a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. But if major outputs are crippled, recovery will take longer. The U.S. Federal Reserve Chair says it is too soon to know what the full effect of the conflict in Iran could be on the economy. It held its lending rate today between 3.5 and 3.75%. The central bank still forecasts one rate cut for 2026 and one for 2027. The rising cost of fuel could be positive for Qatar. The Quebec-based company reported its net earnings were up 18% in its latest quarter, helped by acquisitions. Couche-Tard owns more than 17,000 convenience stores in 30 countries around the world, but most of its revenue comes from its gas stations. Here are the closing numbers for the day. Canadian dollar is down to 72.86. West Texas Intermediate is up over $2 to 98.44. Western Canadian Select is up to 77.85, and the TSX lost over 600 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast, lots of sunshine across New Brunswick today, a high of 1. We do have isolated flurries for parts of the province on the first official day of spring. Friday, 5 degrees is your daytime high. Chance of showers and or flurries transitions over to rain and or snow. On Saturday, sunshine returns, evening flurries with a high of 3 degrees. For Nova Scotia, looking at a high of 1 degree today, lots of sunshine. We do have some scattered flurries for parts of the province into the afternoon. 4 degrees on Friday, looking at a mix of sun and cloud, evening rain and or snow. On Saturday, looking at a high of 5 degrees, rain and or snow continues. Prince Edward Island, 0 today with a mix of sun and cloud, evening flurries. Showers and or flurries continue on Friday with a high of 4. Looking into the evening, rain and or snow, scattered flurries on Saturday. Daytime high remains at 4 degrees.
Just ahead this half hour of the Move Morning Chat, we're feeling nostalgic for things we used to do more often, and we want to know if you agree. That's in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Happy Thursday. The week is almost done. We're almost there.
Right?
Yeah. Almost there. If you are just joining us this morning, you know, hanging out at home, nice and comfortable with your tea or coffee, your breakfast, well, good morning to you, and we're happy you're with us.
Yeah. Good morning, March breakers. A lot of you out there March breaking. I went to the mall the other day. It was packed.
Yeah.
Oh, I could imagine.
It was, yeah. A lot of stuff really busy. I went to the gym yesterday. Packed.
Oh, yeah.
The one thing that's been great, though, is the commute.
It's been light.
Traffic has been very light. For March break in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick would have been last week.
Last week, yeah, they got the early.
Is PI the same week as Nova Scotia?
You know what?
Do we know? I don't know.
I'll have to check on our friends at PEI. In any case, a lot of March breakers out there, a lot of people in our region. Weather has been very all over this week.
Yeah. That's today is going to be a calm day ahead. We do have a bit of like flurry activity tracking across parts of the region a little bit later today. But other than that, once the sun begins to rise, lots of sunshine, although it is another cooler day ahead. Currently in Fredericton, -9, and then factor in that wind chill, feeling cooler. So just something to keep in mind when you are heading out this morning. -8 degrees in Charlottetown, -7 starting off your day in Halifax, -6 in Sydney, -19 degrees in Cartwright, -15 in St. Anthony. Here's a look at that wind chill. Not too bad, but still cooler starting off your day. So make sure to layer up before heading out. There is that risk of frostbite right across Labrador early this morning. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. Not really much to show you today. We are going to see either mainly sunny skies to a mix of sun and cloud. Increasing cloudiness for parts of the region into the afternoon with a chance of some isolated or scattered flurries today. Other than that, though, wind is quite calm early this morning. We'll continue to pick up into the afternoon, a bit breezy today. As of right now, 11 kilometers per hour for sustained wind in Moncton, 13 in Canso with no wind gusts to report at this time. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Suzette.
Thank you so much, Latavia. Well, stunning news from a Nova Scotia MLA who says police are investigating after intimate images of him and his wife were shared after he refused to pay a blackmail demand. Rick Burns, the PC member for Hammonds Plains Lucasville, says hackers first got into his email and demanded money, which he declined to pay. He says the criminals then accessed his devices, copied pictures and videos, and posted them. In a statement last night, Burns said to have such intimate images accessed and released is a gross violation of our privacy and is completely unacceptable. This is bigger than me. This is a gross violation of my wife's privacy, and we are both victims of a grotesque crime. I realize that being an elected official comes with an increased scrutiny. No one signs up for having their privacy violated in this manner, and no politician's partner deserves to be targeted in this way. He said instead adding that law enforcement were investigating. And his boss was quick to add his support in a statement last night, saying he was deeply troubled by the news. Premier Houston said no one should ever be subjected to this kind of violation. When criminals target public officials with blackmail, they are attempting to compromise the people Nova Scotians have chosen to represent them and shake the very core of our democracy. We cannot and will not accept a climate where serving your community in public life makes you and your family a target for extortion. In other news, a youth from Bridgewater appeared in court yesterday morning, accused of plotting an attack at the local high school. Police allege it was part of a bigger plan that included a coordinated attack in Manitoba. CTV's Jonathan McGinnis has more.
Bridgewater police were tipped off last Friday about online chatter that included a plan to attack Parkview Education Center.
It was specific to killing and murdering other students.
The information about the attack came from Interpol, which is an international police organization, and the FBI. Police say the 15-year-old Bridgewater youth was communicating with another youth in Manitoba. Investigators believe the two were allegedly planning a simultaneous attack at Parkview and at Rivers Collegiate in the community of Rivers.
Neither attack was imminent, but obviously if you're in a planning phase or a chatting phase about a school attack, that's a concern to police enforcement.
No specific individuals were mentioned in the plan. During a search of the youth's home, investigators seized imitation weapons, a crudely made pipe bomb, clothing with hate symbols, and electronic devices. The youth is facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder and uttering threats to cause death. At this point, investigators don't believe anyone else in Nova Scotia is involved. Deputy Chief Danny McPhee says there could be more charges laid against the Bridgewater youth once they go through the electronic items that were seized. Jonathan McGinnis, CTV News, Bridgewater.
2 people are facing charges after a sizable drug bust in Charlottetown last week. Police say they seized half a kilogram of crystal meth, 187 Dilaudid pills, and other items consistent with trafficking. Canada Post inspectors sorted the operation. Police allege the drugs were being mailed. 36-year-old Tyler Lanigan and 31-year-old Cheyenne Ashford were arrested and remain in custody with a court appearance scheduled for today. While the trial continued yesterday for a Nova Scotia man accused of defying a province-wide fire ban last summer by venturing into the woods. He and his lawyers argue the government overstepped its authority by barring people from 80% of the province.
It's a much bigger principle at play here, and we have a constitution for a reason, and we have a right to liberty.
Argues it was well within its right to protect people and property from raging wildfires. Proceedings are expected to continue today. And finally, the St. John City Market turns 150 this year, and to celebrate the milestone, there are big changes coming to the space. The market has unveiled new renderings for a seated area planned for the center of the venue. In a social media post, the market calls the design thoughtfully reimagined spaces while keeping the character you know and love. Work has already begun in preparation for the changes, but there is no word on when anything will be finished. Very exciting, though, and very popular gathering spot.
Yes, I went to St. John this winter for a track meet, and I said, we have to go to the market.
Yeah.
And we did, and it was wonderful, and I had, oh my gosh, one of the most delicious coffees, and I bought a loaf of sourdough that was also like, you know how you buy some delicious fresh bread and it's hot from the oven? I had to rip into it right then and there. I went back, I'm like, you have a little butter? They were like, yes. And
that's good. People who go to this market love it, and I've never been.
No, me either, but I've heard
wonderful.
Things.
Beautiful in there, and the outside of the building's beautiful. Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what they do with the place.
Great, yeah, exciting.
All right, speaking of food, turns out Oscar winners even love fast food. This is very fun. Recognize that guy? That's Michael B. Jordan. He took a pit stop at an In-N-Out Burger after the Academy Awards with the Oscar statuette in his hand. Staff and fans crowded around cheering while he enjoyed his meal. He, of course, won Best Actor for his performance in Sinners. It's safe to say the burger was well-deserved. A taste of victory.
Absolutely.
Do you notice, though? I mean, how do you feel about this? And obviously, he deserved that award. Sinners, one of my favorite movies. But you're eating.
And everyone
is crowding.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
You walk in with the Oscar in your hand. You're expected. I don't know if you expected this level of appreciation, but you're expecting to get attention.
True.
But I feel like I can't take a bite right now.
Eat and
Take it a go.
Yeah, you have a point, Crystal. It's true. You walk in with the Oscar, you're expecting the, but
so fun.
It's so awkward. I'm going to enjoy my dirty burger here because it's messy, right?
Yeah.
Let's be real. Messy with my Oscar. Well, hundreds of people are watching me. You know?
Oh my gosh,
it's so funny.
Well, you know what? They're just like us, the stars.
Yeah.
You want a little burger and fries? Late night? I've been there.
Now I'm getting hungry now.
I know. I'm like, I want a burger and some fries right now.
I could go for that. All right, well, we still have a lot more to come this morning. Your entertainment headlines are next, and also the Move Morning Chat. Today, we want to know what's something you used to do that you wish you still did. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back. It's 6:38.
Good morning. The time now is 6:41. Happy Thursday. We're taking a live look at St. John's, Newfoundland, -8 degrees starting off your day. Going to be seeing lots of sunshine in your area and really right across Atlantic Canada today. Although it is a cold start to the day and cooler daytime highs headed our way. -9 starting off your day in Fredericton, -7 in Halifax with -6 degrees this morning in Sydney, -8 early in the morning in Charlottetown, and much colder in Labrador City at -35. Over to our forecast timeline. You can see here pretty clear skies for much of Atlantic Canada. Lots of sunshine throughout your day today. Into the afternoon, we do have a chance of some flurry activity returning to parts of Atlantic Canada. But other than that, going to be a beautiful, sunny, cold day ahead, though. Into tonight, temperatures cool back down yet again, increasing cloudiness for much of the region. And into tonight, we do have a chance of flurries and/or showers returning for parts of the region. Into early Friday, we're going to see a bit of mixed precipitation loom as well. A chance of showers and/or flurries. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, not really seeing any for the Maritime region. We are going to see around 1 to 5 centimeters of additional snowfall in Labrador City. Other than that, in parts of Newfoundland, looking at around 1 to 15 centimeters of accumulation. Lots of sunshine today for New Brunswick. We do have a chance of some flurry activity for parts of the region, specifically into the southern region of the province. Daytime highs will range from -1 to 3 degrees and wind gusts of 40. Same thing for Prince Edward Island, but seeing flurry activity into the evening. Daytime highs ranging from -2 to 0. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, looking at wind out of the east, 20 gusts into 40. Daytime highs between -3 to 2 degrees, and seeing that flurry activity into the afternoon. For the rest of Nova Scotia, lots of sunshine. And then for mainland Nova Scotia into the afternoon, a chance of some flurries. Daytime highs between -1 to 3 degrees and wind gusts of 40 as well. For Labrador City, -11 degrees today. We are going to see mainly sunny skies and then increasing cloudiness, chance of flurries into the afternoon. -2 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at a mix of sun and cloud. Snow arrives into the evening. So for Friday's forecast, the first official day of spring, temperatures are going to warm up above seasonal for parts of the region. We do have some active weather, though, in the forecast, looking at a chance of flurries and/or showers for the Maritime region, looking at a bit of snowfall for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Into Friday night, we do have snow and/or rain moving in for the Maritime region, and temperatures cooling back down into Saturday, becoming seasonal for our daytime highs, and we are going to see that mixed precipitation continue throughout the day. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to the Move Morning Chat.
This is always a fun time of morning. It's time for the Move Morning Chat featuring our friends at Move 106.9 in Fredericton, Crash and Sarah Beth. So nice to see you both today.
Hello. Hey guys, good to see you too.
Yeah, so great to have you on the show. Enlighten us with today's Move Morning Chat. What are we talking about?
Okay, so we want you to think of something that makes you wonder, why aren't we doing that anymore? And I hope this unlocks some memories for some people because this is so specific. But something I loved doing when I was a kid was flipping through my mom's high school yearbook, all the crazy hairdos, MMHS, class of '89, shout out. And in each of the grads' little blurbs at that time, it would be a whole story. It'd be like, so-and-so comes to us each morning from Hardwood Ridge. And they would write something like, Sarah can often be seen on lunch dates with CP if she's not off to a party with ES. Like, it was very Gossip Girl to me. It was like a guessing game, especially looking back for my mom. And now it's just like, favorite subject, favorite lunch. You know, like I need more drama. I need more whimsy. I need a whole picture painted. So for all the 2026 yearbook editors, why aren't we doing that anymore?
Bring it back.
Yeah.
That's a great one.
Yeah, I kind of think of like I took this as something that I wish we were still doing. How many times have you like tried to find something to watch on one of our hundreds of streaming services and we're just going through and it takes forever? Yeah. I'm like, why aren't we going to a video store again? I found my old Blockbuster card in the junk the other day and I was like, the good old days, you know? It's like you walk in there, you know you're walking out with something, as opposed to like I could spend an hour scrolling and go, I don't know what I want to watch. I'm tired now, I'm going to bed, and not watch anything. Whereas going to the store, you know, I was like, I come out of there with something. It was purposeful.
I love the video store. Okay, this is going to be a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I want to bring back dressing up to fly. Everybody's just so schlumpy with their jogging suits on, everything like that. I dress up. I take it to the next level because not something stiff and uncomfortable, but just something kind of fun. Like I'm traveling, and I even like spot some fancy luggage. Like I'm making it a vibe. I just wish people would do that. Yeah,
that is cool. That's classy. That's very, very you.
Yeah,
I love it. I
like to dress up like a classy lady. You know, I do it on TV every day, and every once in a while in my real life too.
So fun.
Yeah,
that's a great one. I thought of one too that makes a lot of sense right now as well. Why aren't we calling each other anymore on the phone?
Oh my gosh, I love talking on the phone.
I mean, we still do it in our field. We still make lots of phone calls, but there is a whole, generations of people not calling each other anymore.
Can I add one more? I know we're almost out of time, but here's another one. I heard the young people these days don't really dance at the clubs. They just sort of look at their phones or they're kind of like, do this.
Wow.
Like let's bring back going nutso on the dance floor, please.
Yes.
Please.
Agree.
And I hear dances in school aren't even really a thing anymore.
Oh my gosh, wow.
This is something I'm curious about. My daughter, she's 12 in middle school, and I'll say to her, she'll go to like the middle school dance where I'm like, do you dance to anybody? No. Like, did anybody ask you to dance? No, we don't really do that. I'm like, what do you mean you don't do that? I'm like, that's the whole fun of the awkwardness of going to the dance. She has her friends, they meet up, they hang out, they eat snacks, they come home after a couple hours. Like, I don't even know how much dancing they even do. I can't get any information from her anyway. So
yeah,
exactly.
At least you're still having a dance though with snacks. I mean, at least that's happening. But yeah, I know you need to just awkwardly have your hands out like this, rocking side to side with your partner. I mean, it has to happen.
It's a rite of passage.
It is indeed. Oh my gosh, we need to rule the world. We've got some great ideas.
Yeah, that's fun.
Got it going on here.
You know what, too? When you mentioned flying, like dressing up to fly, back in the day, people used to dress up to go to sporting events.
Yes.
Remember that? You know, you see old images of Maple Leaf Gardens, and people are in suits and ties.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a different world, you know? Things have really, really changed. We'll become more casual.
Yeah, for sure. Well, listen, we've planted some seeds for our viewers out there, so now we want to hear from you. You can text us at 10400. What's something that makes you wonder, why aren't we doing that anymore? Again, 10400. We'll have a fun roundup at the end of the show.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. Time now, 6:52. We're going to head over to Hollywood and take a look at your entertainment headlines.
Excuse me, Dr. Banner. I need your help.
What did you say your name was? The first trailer for the long-awaited Spider-Man Brand New Day is out. The Sony Pictures and Marvel Entertainment film stars Tom Holland and Zendaya, who are returning for their 4th film in the superhero franchise. Also appearing 2 familiar faces of the MCU, Mark Ruffalo as a Hulk's Bruce Banner, and John Bernthal as a Punisher's Frank Castle. Spider-Man Brand New Day hits theaters July 31st. Disney is a parent company of Marvel Entertainment and ABC News.
Without sounding stupid, what is a tomato?
Netflix has released the first trailer for This Is a Gardening Show starring Zach Galifianakis. This series will follow Galifianakis as he learns to grow his own food. The show is set to premiere on Earth Day, April 22nd.
If everything was simple, how would we know?
Niall Horan is releasing new music. The former One Direction singer announcing he'll be releasing his 4th solo album called Dinner Party. The album is set to be released on June 5th. And happy birthday to actress Glenn Close. The 8-time Academy Award nominee turned 79 today. That's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Alex Stone, ABC News.
Well, while it's March break for students in Nova Scotia, it's still an opportunity to learn something new. You don't need to go far to go on a trip through history.
Yep, CTV's Paul DeWitt gives us a timely lesson at the Museum of Natural History.
Hi, my name is Jeff Gray here at the Museum of Natural History. We're here during March break in Dinosaur Exploration 2, now on view. It's a chance to step back in time and see dinosaurs here at your museum. So March break is our busiest week of the year here at the Museum of Natural History. We get lots of great visitors coming in to check out the museum. We see a lot of family visitors. We see visitors from across the province, not just HRM. People are getting out to see the city, getting out to see lots of other things, and they make the museum a part of their annual visit to the museum. Dinosaurs has been open since early February, so it's still relatively new, and it is here until September 7th, so there's still lots of time to see the exhibit. This week for March break, we have lots of programs. We have lots of volunteers who bring extra information, extra programming. People get a chance to learn more about dinosaurs, learn about Nova Scotia dinosaurs, where dinosaur names come from. It is a great chance to see this exhibit, learn a little bit extra, and then bring your friends back later this year and share some of that information with them. So also on in the museum, our latest permanent exhibit, Gelasi, which opened last year, is still new. It's been a huge hit for us with school programs and our Indigenous communities. We also have great programs running on our Science on a Sphere. Our live animal feedings are always popular. And of course, everyone has a chance to visit Gus while they visit the museum as well. Museum of Natural History is a great spot to visit with your family. We hope that people do take a time to check out Dinosaur Exploration 2. It's a great chance to step back 66 million years ago and see what the Earth was like at that time.
Well, a wonderful exhibit to check out. Love going to the Museum of Natural History. All right, what's happening now in news? Unsettling allegations. A youth arrested in connection with a domestic terror plot. And we also have taking a toll this morning as well. Demands to pump the brakes on highway tolls. And troubling news from a Nova Scotia MLA who says police are investigating after intimate images of him and his wife were shared after he refused to pay a blackmail demand. Those details are coming up next in your local news headlines. But first, let's check in with Latavia.
Thanks, Suzette. Taking a look again at the 3-day forecast, starting off in New Brunswick, a high of 1 degree today. We do have a mix of sun and cloud, isolated flurries for parts of the province into the afternoon. On Friday, first official day of spring, warming up to 5 degrees. A chance of showers and or flurries, though, throughout the day. Then into the evening, transitions over to steadier rain and or snow. On Saturday, lots of sunshine returns, cooling down to 3 degrees for your daytime high, but flurries return yet again into the evening. For Nova Scotia, 1 degree today. We do have sunshine with scattered flurries into the afternoon for parts of the province on the first official day of spring, Friday, ending off the work week with a high of 4 degrees. A mix of sun and cloud into the evening. Rain and or snow moves in. On Saturday, rain and or snow continues with a high of 5. For Prince Edward Island, 0 today. Lots of sunshine, a chance of flurries into the evening on the first official day of spring. 4 degrees is your daytime high. Showers and or flurries, transitions over to rain and or snow. Scattered flurries return on Saturday. 4 degrees yet again for your daytime high.
It's Thursday, March 19th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, taking a toll. Demands to pump the brakes on highway tolls. Your news headlines and more just ahead.
And Ask an Expert. Today we're chatting with the folks at Allen Marshall and Associates about creating and sticking to a budget. Those stories and more are coming up on the Thursday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. The time now is 7 o'clock. It's cold today, but don't worry about it. Tomorrow's the first official day of spring.
Yay!
Let's be real, it doesn't really mean that much changes right away, but still, there's hope in the air.
There's hope in the air. You know what? I will say things are really perking up, you know, like you wake up and if you see the sun, you think, okay, like there is a breath of spring in the air. You do feel it when you go outside, you know, and despite being a little cool, it's still March, you do feel that spring in your step.
You totally do.
You
and
really
with the sun, there's a heat in it. There's a quality of the light that's better. Tomorrow, March 20th, World Happiness Day.
Okay, there you go.
We're going to lean into that.
Yeah,
oh,
for sure.
even better.
I guess today's World Happiness Day Eve.
Yes.
So we've got a great interview coming up to get us all set up for that, too. That's later in the show.
Nice. Well, you know what? Last week we had a couple nice, really warm days.
Sure did.
This week we had a really warm day, although it was, like you said, kind of a monsoon.
Yeah.
We are going to see, hopefully, those warmer temperatures next week. But this week, starting off cold. As of right now, -6 degrees over in Antigonish. But you can see the sun is already beginning to start to rise.
Yeah.
We are going to see that sunshine right across Atlantic Canada today. So it's going to really help cheer you up, at least. Right now, -9 in Fredericton, -8 in Charlottetown, -6 in Sydney, -7 degrees early this morning in Halifax, -19 in Cartwright, -8 in St. John's. We still have that wind chill factoring in early this morning, but temperatures will rise, still remaining below seasonal for much of the region. But as of right now, there is that risk of frostbite as well across Labrador. In terms of our satellite and radar, as I mentioned, lots of sunshine across Atlantic Canada today. We do have a bit of flurry activity for parts of the region returning into the afternoon, but it's around a 30 to 60% chance of it happening. A light wind for the maritime region early on, 19 kilometers per hour in North Cape, 13 into Edmundston, as well as into Canso and Lunenburg. No wind gusts to report at this time, getting up to at least 40 kilometers per hour for our wind gusts into the afternoon. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll have your full forecast coming up, but first a look at your local news with Suzette.
Thank you so much, Latavia. A youth from Bridgewater appeared in court yesterday accused of plotting an attack at the local high school. Police allege it was part of a bigger plan that included a coordinated attack in Manitoba. CTV's Jonathan McGinnis has more.
Bridgewater police were tipped off last Friday about online chatter that included a plan to attack Parkview Education Center.
It was specific to killing and murdering other students.
The information about the attack came from Interpol, which is an international police organization, and the FBI. Police say the 15-year-old Bridgewater youth was communicating with another youth in Manitoba. Investigators believe the two were allegedly planning a simultaneous attack at Parkview and at Rivers Collegiate in the community of Rivers.
Neither attack was imminent, but obviously if you're in a planning phase or a chatting phase about a school attack, that's a concern to police enforcement.
No specific individuals were mentioned in the plan. During a search of the youth's home, investigators seized imitation weapons, a crudely made pipe bomb, clothing with hate symbols, and electronic devices. The youth is facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder and uttering threats to cause death. At this point, investigators don't believe anyone else in Nova Scotia is involved. Deputy Chief Danny McPhee says there could be more charges laid against the Bridgewater youth once they go through the electronic items that were seized. Jonathan McGinnis, CTV News, Bridgewater.
And police in Cape Breton have released images of the type of vehicle they're looking for in connection to a hit-and-run death near Louisbourg. This is the make of the vehicle police believe struck and killed a 23-year-old woman on the weekend. It's a newer model Buick Encore Avenir, a small SUV. Officers suspect there is damage on the front end, and they're asking the public for help in locating it. Well, this might be a first. Some Nova Scotians are criticizing an item in the New Brunswick budget, and they're getting support from neighbors who are also upset by the province's plan to start charging tolls along the Trans-Canada Highway near the border. CTV's Derek Haggett has some reaction.
The thought of having to pay a couple of bucks to enter New Brunswick isn't sitting well with people in the border town of Amherst.
I don't like it.
I think it's just terrible.
When I found out about it, I just thought it's kind of a silly idea.
The New Brunswick government announced the toll in its provincial budget yesterday, estimating it will bring in over $10 million in revenue per year. The news, a bit of a shock to the mayor of Amherst.
This added tax, because quite frankly, that's what a toll is. It's a tax. And I think that, unfortunately, we're going to bear the brunt of it here in Cumberland County and Amherst.
Out-of-province vehicles traveling on the Trans-Canada will have to pay a fee at a tolling station to be built in the Olac area.
I think it's just terrible. It's a tax on the local residents here more than it is a tax on people driving through New Brunswick as it is intended. About 1/3 of the workforce from Amherst leaves to go to work in New Brunswick every day.
It's hard on especially minimum wage workers. It's hard for them to go back and forth and still make a living. If you're going for pleasure, it's a little bit more understandable.
It's going to slow sales down also for businesses in Amherst and probably New Brunswick with the toll
people don't want to pay extra money to go into a province.
The amount is yet to be determined, but a spokesperson for the province tells CTV News it could be similar to the $4 per vehicle toll at the Cobequid Pass in Nova Scotia.
People that have to go to the Moncton Hospital, George Dumont, those things, extra cost to them, and it's hard times right now.
The province of New Brunswick says the exact location of the tolling station in the Olac area is still yet to be determined. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Amherst, Nova Scotia.
And a few days after it was tabled, some groups are expressing frustration with what wasn't in the budget. They were expecting efforts to curb spending. Instead, the government is piling $6 billion more onto debt.
This is horrifying that this government thinks that they can sell to New Brunswickers a deficit spending program that they have no plan to get out of. They're not even trying, Madam Speaker.
The budget that we have put forward does something that I can understand that the members opposite might not be familiar with. It tackles years of underspending in healthcare, and it puts New Brunswickers first.
We were surprised by the lack of tough spending decisions in this budget that has led us to, the biggest deficit this province has ever seen.
Debate later moved to concerns about how the province's credit rating would be affected. As of yesterday, it remained an A or higher. So definitely lots to discuss with the New Brunswick budget, still making headlines in the news a few days later.
Oh, it will. It'll rumble. It'll rumble for a bit. Yeah, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
All right. Let's just take a moment for a daily dose of cuteness. Let's shift gears completely.
I like it. I like it.
Okay. Yeah, here you go. The Copenhagen Zoo is in full baby mode. Not only welcome this baby giraffe, oh my gosh, so fresh, born Friday. There's a baby elephant there too. Now this imagery is so cute. The elephant, the last time they had a baby elephant was 2024, and the newborn giraffe is the first of several expected at the zoo over the next few months. They've got 2 other female giraffes pregnant. So let's just take a moment to stay with this footage and appreciate it.
He's like, how do my legs work?
He's so tiny.
The baby elephant is adorable. Oh my gosh, that's cute.
His little hair.
Did you hear him go, wee, like making an elephant noise? And then this is so cute. Mama and baby are just, this is very, very early stages.
Yeah. Can the baby even stand up yet?
Look at the one beside, too. How tall it is.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Giraffes are incredible.
They
beautiful,
are
beautiful. Yeah.
So majestic. Oh, my goodness. I want both. I'll take them both from my backyard.
and one more final flourish from the baby elephant.
Look at him. Oh.
Beautiful. Have either of you ever seen either of those animals in person? I don't think I have.
At the zoo.
Like in Toronto? Or
I think so, but never. I don't think a baby one.
Yeah.
I did. I saw the baby.
You really?
It wasn't like that little, but it was
nice.
like, we thought it was the real one. And then when the actual, like, a parent came in, we were like, woo, what
Hello.
is happening? Yeah, it's very fun.
Very
I love
cool.
a zoo. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. All right. Well, we still have a lot more to come this morning. We also have national, international headlines. But just after the break, Latavia has the all-important weather forecast for the last full day of winter. Yeah, believe it or not, spring is on the way. Here's a live look at Tangier, Nova Scotia, Nova Scotia's eastern shore. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 7:13. We're taking a live look at the Armdale roundabout. As of right now, it is -7. Seeing the sun is starting to come up, and we are going to see that sunshine sticking around throughout the day right across Atlantic Canada. Although a bit cool starting off the day, temperatures will rise, still remaining below seasonal for our daytime highs, though. As of right now, -10 degrees in Fredericton, -8 in Charlottetown, -7 in Halifax and Sydney, and also -7 into St. John's, Newfoundland. As you can see on our forecast timeline, a bit of cloud coverage for parts of the region, but sunshine right across Atlantic Canada today. Then into the afternoon, increasing cloudiness for parts of the Maritime region. We do have a chance of some flurry activity returning for parts of Atlantic Canada, around a 30 to 60% chance of it happening. Into this evening, we are going to see clouds continue to increase. Temperatures really cooling back down tonight. And we do have a chance of flurries and or showers moving back in for the Maritime region, snow and or rain for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, don't worry about it. We aren't going to see any accumulation for the Maritime region, only seeing around 1 to 5 centimeters of additional snowfall for Labrador City and 1 to 15 centimeters for parts of Newfoundland. Into our forecast today, starting off in New Brunswick, lots of sunshine throughout the day today. We do have a chance of some scattered flurries for the southern region. Wind gusts getting up to 40 kilometers per hour, and daytime highs will range from -1 to 3 degrees. Prince Edward Island, lots of sunshine throughout your day today with a mix of sun and cloud. Highs will range from -2 to 0. We do have a bit of flurry activity into the evening. And for Cape Breton and eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same, lots of sunshine throughout your day, seeing a chance of flurries into the afternoon. And daytime highs between -3 to 2 degrees, wind gusts of 40 as well. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, lots of sunshine today as well. For mainland Nova Scotia, a chance of some flurry activity into the afternoon. Daytime highs between -1 to 3 degrees. And then for Labrador City, also seeing sunshine throughout your day today with mainly sunny skies. Increasing cloudiness into the afternoon, looking at around a 40% chance of flurries. A high of -11 today. And then for St. John's, Newfoundland, a -3, also seeing a mix of sun and cloud, but snow arrives into the evening. So for the first official day of spring, we are going to see temperatures warm up above seasonal for parts of the region. But we do have a chance of flurries and or showers for the Maritimes. And then for Labrador, looking at some snowfall, and for parts of Newfoundland, a bit of flurry activity. This carries into Saturday. We are going to see snow and or rain, so a bit steadier for that mixed precipitation for the Maritime region. Temperatures cooling back down, remaining seasonal though. So that's looking at weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Suzette.
Thank you, Latavia. New attacks on oil and gas facilities in the Middle East are raising major concerns in the financial markets worldwide. In the U.S., the Pentagon has reportedly asked the White House to request more money from Congress to fund the war. ABC's Patrick Reveal has the latest from Doha.
Overnight, a dramatic escalation in attacks on energy facilities in the Middle East, causing oil and gas prices to jump. Qatar reporting multiple fires at the world's largest liquefied natural gas terminal. The Qatari government saying Iranian missiles targeting the terminal. The new escalation triggered by Israel bombing the world's largest gas field in Iran, the South Pars gas field. Iran vowing to retaliate. Trump warning if that were to happen, the U.S. will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field. Iran has also threatened energy sites in the UAE and Saudi Arabia. This explosion in the Saudi capital. The Washington Post reports the Pentagon has now requested another $200 billion for the war. U.S. Central Command says more than 7,800 targets have now been struck in Iran, and 120 Iranian ships have been damaged or destroyed. National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard testified on Capitol Hill yesterday. She was asked whether Iran posed an immediate threat before the U.S. attacked.
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Okay.
That is up to the president based on a volume of information
it is precisely
that he receives.
It is precisely your responsibility to determine what constitutes a threat to the United States.
The only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
No, you're evading a question because to provide a candid response to the committee would contradict a statement from the White House.
The Strait of Hormuz, of course, remains paralyzed, and the longer this war goes on, the greater the economic consequences, and there is no quick end in sight. Patrick Reveal, ABC News, Doha.
The impact from the war factored into the Bank of Canada's latest interest rate decision, and for now, no change.
The issue for us is not really the immediate increase in inflation. We know that's going to happen. It's does that start to get generalized, start to spread, start to look more persistent.
The central bank announced it's holding the key rate steady at 2.25%. Tiff Macklem said the Bank of Canada will continue to monitor the economic impacts of the war in Iran. And as Cuba continues to struggle with an energy crisis, 2 major Canadian airlines are extending their suspension of flights to the island. WestJet says most Cuba trips are canceled right through October, although 2 of its tour package divisions hope to start up again in June. Air Transat says it won't resume flights to Cuba until June. Refunds are available for affected passengers at both airlines. Cuba has partially restored its power grid following a nationwide blackout that reportedly lasted for more than 29 hours. It's the 3rd major blackout in 4 months. All right, it is 7:18 on this Thursday morning. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. and home of the $1,000 Minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
It's time for another installment of Ask the Expert. Today we're joined by our partners at Allen Marshall and Associates to talk about how to budget and manage our money better. Here with tips to help us do just that is Mark Marshall, a licensed insolvency trustee with Allen Marshall and Associates. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
It is a pleasure, and what an important topic. So budgeting and money management, they sound simple, but these are not skills that we're taught in school most of the time. If somebody out there is kind of having some trouble with this, where should a person begin to get on a better path?
Well, budgeting is, I know it's a bit of a boring topic for some people, but it's a very important topic. I mean, budgeting is, if anything, it's just a matter of, basically establishing kind of some parameters or, establishing some goals for yourself. And, the first step to kind of any budget or the reason that you'd be kind of looking at some kind of a budgetary process is because you want to establish some kind of financial goal for yourself, whether that's, as a young adult looking to save some money to move out, or whether or not you've moved out and then you're looking to kind of manage your money. But you have to know what your goal would be. Based on that goal, ultimately will determine kind of what parameters or what guardrails you set in determining, your budgetary requirements and what you're trying to do. So it's not something that, like as you alluded to at the beginning, that's not taught in school. Generally, budgeting is something that's taught at home. And it's not something that, a lot of people have great skills at doing. And sometimes it's trial and error. And the trial and error, it can be difficult, and there could be some pitfalls in doing that. But the key, number one, is just understanding kind of what your goal would be, and then establishing, a plan of action to ultimately kind of reach that goal.
Sure, and depending, I imagine, on the stage of life you're in, your goal might be different than from one person to the next. But in your line of work, you see this all the time. What would be the biggest mistake you see people making?
The biggest mistake is just people have no understanding as to where their money's going. And so, lack of tracking would be the biggest issue, because most people will say, I make good money and I have no money left over at the end of the month. And that's a common discussion that I have with people. And I'll say to them, where is your money going? Do you know where your money's going? And I would say 8 times out of 10, most people have no idea where it's going. They'll just say, look, I've made X amount of dollars, and I carry on. I take the kids to sports. I'm paying the rent. I'm going here. I'm going there. They have no idea of where the waste is. So the biggest mistake is just not understanding where the cash flow is going, because it can be death by 1,000 cuts at times, where it's small amounts of money every day that you don't even realize that you're spending. That if you can eliminate that and start to kind of track and understand that's where you'll start to generate some savings for yourself to establish towards a long-term effective budget.
Yeah, that awareness I could see being very, very important. Okay, we're almost out of time, Mark, but I have 2 quick questions for you. First of all, give an example, aside from tracking, something else that you think will move the dial for people that they could do.
Well, again, establish goals, track, and then, establish some kind of a system, right? So a system for your money. So once you know what your goals are, you'll hear people often talk about like the envelope system or like cash plotters. I know that banks will, through their apps and their mobile apps, will allow you to track spending and establish goals. So the key is just to establish some kind of parameter or system for you to track, whether it's a piece of paper in your pocket or like a little notepad that you're writing down. So that would be the first thing that you would want to try to do to kind of get yourself aimed in the right direction.
Wonderful. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you today, Mark. Thank you so much for these tips.
Okay, thank you.
Mark Marshall is a licensed insolvency trustee with our partners at Allen Marshall and Associates. We put their website on ours so you can find out more information.
Taking a look at our 3-day forecast, starting off in New Brunswick, a high of 1 degree. We do have sunshine, but also a chance of some flurry activity into the afternoon for parts of the province. On Friday, the first official day of spring, 5 degrees with showers and or flurries. Into the evening, steadier rain and or snow. Then on Saturday, sunshine returns, a high of 3 degrees with evening flurries. For Nova Scotia, 1 degree, lots of sunshine today. We do have a chance of some scattered flurries for parts of the province. On Friday, we're looking at a high of 4 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, evening rain and or snow. That continues on Saturday with a high of 5. For Prince Edward Island, 0 today with a mix of sun and cloud, flurries into the evening, a chance of showers and or flurries on Friday with a high of 4, evening rain and or snow, scattered flurries into the weekend with a high of 4.
Coming up in this half hour, cutting your food costs while still eating healthy. Our pal and registered dietitian, Lori Barker-Jackman, will be here to share tips on stretching those more expensive grocery items without compromising flavor and nutrition. That's in about 15 minutes right here on Your Morning Atlantic.
Wow, join us. It's Thursday, March 19th, already halfway through the show. So excited that you can join us. We've got Suzette.
Good morning.
Good news today, Latavia, doing weather as per usual. And it is a day where we can just sort of get ready for spring tomorrow.
Yeah, good news is on the way. Spring always brings, hope, renewal. Good news.
All the nice weather's still to come. We haven't wasted anything yet.
Yeah.
Nope.
That I feel good about.
Oh, yeah. I'm excited to get back out on the trails, exploring outdoors again. I know many do that during the winter, but that is not my thing. So I can't wait for the warm.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
It's easier to do it when the weather's nice.
Exactly.
Okay, Bedeck, share your secrets. How do you look gorgeous every single day?
Every day. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Bedeck, Nova Scotia, as you can see here, the sun is already beginning to shine. Currently -6 degrees in your area, so it is cooler right across the board. We will be seeing temperatures warm up a little bit later on, still remaining on the cooler side of things, though. -10 degrees right now in Fredericton, -7 in Sydney, as well as at Halifax, -8 in Charlottetown, -37 in Labrador City, and -7 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Seeing the wind chill factor in early this morning, there is also a risk of frostbite across Labrador. We are going to see below seasonal daytime highs headed our way. As of right now, for the satellite and radar, as you can see here, quite clear. Just a bit of cloud coverage for parts of the region, but for the most part, lots of sunshine in the forecast for all 3 maritime provinces, extending into Newfoundland and Labrador's forecast as well. We do have a bit of flurry activity into the afternoon for parts of the region, but other than that, going to be a lovely but cooler day ahead. In terms of the wind, starting off quite light for the maritime region, 19 kilometers per hour in North Cape. We have 13 in Edmonton, as well as into Canso, 11 in Truro. No wind gusts to report at this time. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Suzette.
Thank you so much, Latavia. Well, this might be a first. Some Nova Scotians are criticizing an item in the New Brunswick budget, and they're getting support from neighbors who are also upset by the province's plan to start charging tolls along the Trans-Canada Highway near the border. CTV's Derek Haggett has some reaction.
The thought of having to pay a couple of bucks to enter New Brunswick isn't sitting well with people in the border town of Amherst.
I don't like it.
I think it's just terrible.
When I found out about it, I just thought it's kind of a silly idea.
The New Brunswick government announced the toll in its provincial budget yesterday, estimating it will bring in over $10 million in revenue per year. The news, a bit of a shock to the mayor of Amherst.
This added tax, because quite frankly, that's what a toll is. It's a tax. And I think that, unfortunately, we're going to bear the brunt of it here in Cumberland County and Amherst.
Out-of-province vehicles traveling on the Trans-Canada will have to pay a fee at a tolling station to be built in the Olac area.
I think it's just terrible. It's a tax on the local residents here more than it is a tax on people driving through New Brunswick as it is intended. About 1/3 of the workforce from Amherst leaves to go to work in New Brunswick every day.
It's hard on especially minimum wage workers. It's hard for them to go back and forth and still make a living. If you're going for pleasure, it's a little bit more understandable.
It's going to slow sales down also for businesses in Amherst and probably New Brunswick with the toll. People don't want to pay extra money to go into a province.
The amount is yet to be determined, but a spokesperson for the province tells CTV News it could be similar to the $4 per vehicle toll at the Cobequid Pass in Nova Scotia.
People that have to go to the Moncton Hospital, George Dumont, those things, extra cost to them, and those it's hard times right now.
The province of New Brunswick says the exact location of the tolling station in the Olac area is still yet to be determined. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Amherst, Nova Scotia.
And a few days after it was tabled, some groups are expressing frustration with what wasn't in the New Brunswick budget. They were expecting efforts to curb spending. Instead, the government is piling $6 million more onto its debt.
This is horrifying that this government thinks that they can sell to New Brunswickers a deficit spending program that they have no plan to get out of. They're not even trying, Madam Speaker.
The budget that we have put forward does something that I can understand that the members opposite might not be familiar with. It tackles years of underspending in healthcare, and it puts New Brunswickers first.
We were surprised by the lack of tough spending decisions in this budget that has led us to, the biggest deficit this province has ever seen.
Debate later moved to concerns about how the province's credit rating would be effective. As of today, it remained an A or higher. Well, stunning news from a Nova Scotia MLA who says police are investigating after intimate images of him and his wife were shared after he refused to pay a blackmail demand. Rick Burns, the PC member for Hammonds Plains Lucasville, says hackers first got into his email and demanded money, which he declined to pay. He says the criminals then accessed his devices, copied pictures and videos, and posted them. In a statement last night, Burns said to have such intimate images accessed and released is a gross violation of our privacy and is completely unacceptable. This is bigger than me. This is a gross violation of my wife's privacy, and we are both victims of a grotesque crime. I realize that being an elected official comes with increased scrutiny. No one signs up for having their privacy violated in this manner, and no politician's partner deserves to be treated or targeted in this way. He said, adding that law enforcement was investigating. And his boss was quick to add his support in a statement last night, saying he was deeply troubled by the news. Premier Houston said no one should ever be subjected to this kind of violation. When criminals target public officials with blackmail, they are attempting to compromise the people Nova Scotians have chosen to represent them and shake the very core of our democracy. We cannot and will not accept a climate where serving your community and public life makes you and your family a target of extortion. And finally, the trial continued yesterday for a Nova Scotia man accused of defying a province-wide fire ban last summer by venturing into the woods. He and his lawyers argue the government overstepped its authority by barring more than 80% of the province.
There's a much bigger principle at play here, and we have a constitution for a reason, and we have a right to liberty.
The province argues it was well within its right to protect people and property from raging wildfires. Proceedings are expected to continue today. Certainly an interesting one. Indeed, yeah. We'll see how that plays out.
Definitely a lot of eyeballs on that story. Let's take it back to our Move Morning Chat for a second. Today, it's a question we're asking is, what do you wish would sort of come back? Why aren't we doing this anymore? You had mentioned calling on the phone.
Yeah.
Well, that brings us to this story. This payphone sitting inside a senior's home provides an instant connection to a lonely person from another generation.
And it felt kind of exciting to talk to somebody that wasn't right here.
So the pilot project is called Call a Zoomer. Let seniors pick up the phone and ring a coffee shop on a college campus in Boston. Matter Neuroscience invented the idea to fight loneliness. The project aims to connect people, boost dopamine, and lower stress. So data suggests that seniors and Gen Z folks, also known as Zoomers, are the loneliest demographic groups. So by connecting them, they both can have a little bit of a connection, at least for a moment.
How amazing is that?
Yeah.
So sweet.
Oh, that's really sweet. What a great idea.
I know, just pick up the phone and somebody, like it rings at either place too. So there you go, there's Move Morning Chat with something that makes you wonder, why the heck aren't we doing that anymore? Text is 10400. I want to hear your responses. We can have a little bit of fun at the end of the show.
I love that. That is fun. Yeah, I can't wait to hear the responses. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've reached the halfway point of our show already, so that means fill up your coffee and come back and hang out with us. You won't want to go anywhere. We have your latest weather forecast as we enter spring tomorrow. But Lori Barker-Jackman joins us as well for a look at cutting food costs in the grocery store. Some news you can use. Stay with us, 7:39. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. The time now is 7:43. We're taking a live look at a very sunny start to the day over in Liverpool. As of right now, it is -7 degrees heading outdoors. So something to keep in mind early this morning, quite cold across parts of Atlantic Canada. As of right now, -10 degrees in Fredericton, -8 in Charlottetown, -7 degrees in Sydney, Halifax, and St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline. Sunshine extending in the forecast right across Atlantic Canada. We are going to see a chance of some flurry activity for parts of southern New Brunswick, mainland Nova Scotia, as well as Cape Breton Island, parts of Labrador into the afternoon. Then into the evening, we'll start to see that chance of flurries increase for parts of the region. Taking us into early Friday morning, the first official day of spring, we are going to see a chance of showers and or flurries for parts of the region. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, going to remain quite light for the Maritimes, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for Labrador City and 1 to 15 centimeters across parts of Newfoundland. Lots of sunshine starts off the day for New Brunswick. Daytime highs ranging from -1 to 3 degrees. We do have that chance of some flurry activity into the southern region this afternoon, wind gusts of 40. Sunshine also in the forecast for Prince Edward Island, a mix of sun and cloud. Flurries arrive into the evening with highs between -2 to 0. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, we are going to see pretty much the same. Lots of sunshine throughout your day, increasing cloudiness with a chance of flurries into the afternoon. Daytime highs between -3 to 2 degrees. For the rest of Nova Scotia, sunshine for you as well. We do have a chance of some flurry activity for mainland Nova Scotia into the afternoon, looking around a 30 to 60% chance of it happening with wind gusts of 40. For Labrador City, pretty much the same thing. Mainly sunny skies, a 40% chance of flurries into the afternoon with a high of -11. -3 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, a mix of sun and cloud, snow into the evening. For our forecast for Friday, the first official day of spring, starting around 11 a.m. for Atlantic. We are going to see a chance of showers and or flurries for parts of the Maritimes. For Newfoundland, Labrador, still looking at some light flurry and or snow activity. Then into Friday night, transitions over to steadier snow and or rain for the Maritime region, making its way into Saturday. We are going to see temperatures cool back down. We are going to see mainly cloudy skies and looking at a bit of precipitation still left behind. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to the kitchen.
Thank you so much, Octavia. At 7:45, now listen up. Before we get to our good friend Lori Barker-Jackman, here's some stats. Canada's food price report for 2026 forecasts that overall food prices will rise by 4 to 6%. But many of us are looking at our grocery bills these days, wondering how much higher can these prices go? And that is before the impact of higher gas prices trickling down and impacting prices. So here to help us save on food costs is friend of the show, registered dietitian Lori Barker-Jackman. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
We need your help, Lori.
I know it's really tough for all of us, and really frustrating. But you know, there are some things that we can do. There's good news here.
Okay.
So there's some tips that
let's begin here.
Yes. So you've heard me say this before, Crystal. I'll say it again. It starts with meal planning.
Okay.
Yes.
So for those who are like, Lori, you've said this before, but I didn't really pay attention. How do you start with this, and why would you want to do this?
Okay. So first of all, I'm going to say there's not one perfect way to meal plan. So let's take that pressure off.
Yep.
It's going to look different for every family out there. So you have to find what works for you. It could be planning meals for the week every day. It could be planning 1 or 2 meals to ease that pressure. How we start is the same. Okay. Shop your kitchen first. Take a look. What's in your pantry? What's in your fridge? What's in your freezer? What do we need to use up? Start there.
Yeah.
Then we're going to look at sales, and then we're going to put a plan together. What this does, it prevents impulse buying and reduces food waste. Those are 2 huge money savers.
Definitely. That's a great idea. Okay, so let's say we've made our plan.
Yes.
Let's introduce some other foods now.
Okay, so I'm going to talk here about choosing inexpensive cuts of meat. So there's no doubt, if we look at our plate, the most expensive part is meat, and we know prices soared last year in this category. So we can still enjoy it. We just need to change our cooking technique.
Okay.
So cooking low and slow. So this is a soup. My sister-in-law's here from Newfoundland. She made this yesterday. This is stewing beef, which is a cheaper cut of meat, but cooked low and slow on that stove. Absolutely delicious. Okay?
This looks great. Plus you've rounded up, like filled out the plate with rice and vegetables, so that you know, you don't need as much meat to fill up the bellies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got it. You can also use an acidic marinade. So things like vinegar, citrus, that's going to denature the protein, which can help tenderize the meat. Okay, so lots of things we can do there.
Love it.
All right. This is really stretching expensive ingredients. So if we are choosing maybe an expensive cut of meat, first of all, think about maybe it's not the star of the plate. Maybe it's a kebab, for example, right?
Okay.
So still enjoying it.
Yeah.
But using things like beans, lentils, tofu to stretch that, still get protein, still get fiber. We're not sacrificing nutrition, but adding those in. Things like rice and oats, also very cost effective. And you know what? Think about using your produce from head to toe. So not just maybe the head of the broccoli, get the stem, slice it up. You can grate it into a salad or cook it on its own.
That's super smart, yeah. And yet these things never spoil either.
They don't. I mean, they last.
Never, maybe, but.
Yes, they last a long time.
A lot longer than a piece of meat.
You got it.
Okay, and then what about this?
This is really looking at produce. So buying in-season produce when we can, that's going to save us money. And you know what's always a good buy? Root vegetables.
Yes.
Carrots, turnip, potatoes. Maybe they last long, which is great, but change up the way you cook them. Maybe we're going to roast them to bring out that flavor. Don't forget about frozen, my friends. They're excellent. Great way to reduce food waste, and they're, again, more cost effective.
Okay, I'm going to give you a little note from my own life. No. On the weekend, I had my brother-in-law come, surprise, and we had a great visit, but I didn't have anything, and I didn't have enough meat, so I did cook what we had, but I literally took everything out of the fridge and freezer, and I thawed out some, like, it's a half bag of beets, a half bag of beans, and this and that and the other thing, and I tossed them all in a bowl with some olive oil and some spices.
Yes.
And put it all in the oven at 400, and it all just roasted up at the same time, and it was really good, Lori.
Nice. See? Love that. You're using all of these strategies.
I felt like you were going to give me a gold star. I'm like, I'm using stuff up, I'm saving money, I'm reducing waste, and ultimately everybody was like, yum, yum, yum. So
easy peasy, right? Okay. So it's just simple techniques that we can use that really can help us. But look at what you got on hand. It's pretty amazing what we already have.
There. Well, Lori, great advice. Thank you so much. Can't wait to see you again.
Same.
All right, and we're going to move over now. Speaking of healthy eating, over to health and medical news with Suzette.
Thank you so much, Crystal and Lori. Nice to see you. All right, to health and medical news now. Why an award-winning author and professor says Canada's national men's health strategy is sorely needed. It's one of the topics in Your Health this morning with Callum Smith.
A University of Manitoba professor says the federal government's plan to create a national men's and boys' health strategy is an important step to help issues like masculinity, mental health, and relationship building.
Canadian men often die earlier, have low life expectancy, are more likely to get heart disease, suffer from cancers, suffer from obesity than anyone else in the country.
Indigenous Studies professor Nigon Sinclair says Canadian men are facing an ongoing crisis in society and that Ottawa's efforts are imperative to address the health disparities between men in Canada, particularly those who are Indigenous or immigrants. Men also experience higher rates of premature death, suicide, and substance use. One Canadian province is taking advantage of American healthcare workers looking to leave the country.
When the first Trump administration came into power, we really kind of were getting worried and talking about potentially leaving the country.
The BC government says a targeted recruitment campaign has paid off, gaining 414 U.S.-trained healthcare workers, including doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, and allied health workers. The BC Nurses Union, though, calls it a drop in the bucket, saying there are an estimated 4,500 vacant positions in the province. And a warning to get medical insurance if you're traveling internationally. This Atlanta woman was visiting her son in Ontario last fall when she had a stroke and ended up being hospitalized for a month. She did not have travel health insurance, and now her son says they were handed a $110,000 bill. The Waterloo Regional Health Network ultimately knocked it down by 10%, but the family is still stuck, owing six figures.
We have no milestones to pass along for you today, but if you'd like to see previously aired milestones or find out how to submit one, you can visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen. And a reminder, milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance. Now, you know we love a home tour, and this one is quite not like any other we've ever seen. A woman in New York recreated Dorothy's Kansas house from The Wizard of Oz and so much more.
Yes, ABC's Danny New first visited her apartment 6 months ago when it was a famous shipwreck, and now it's decorated like somewhere over the rainbow.
Titanic is kind of supposed to be like on a stage there.
You may recall our voyage last year with New Yorker Sarah Bowl, who picked up millions of views on social media for transforming her apartment into the Titanic.
Hi, welcome to the apartment of Oz.
Well, I have some news. Sarah and her little dog, too, are back and in Technicolor.
I just thought back to certain scenes in Wizard of Oz when I was a kid that I was like, oh, wait, that would be really cool.
After taking down the Leo decorations in October, Sarah and Vito have now docked in the Emerald City.
This is supposed to look like the witch is melting.
So let's take the grand tour. When you first walk in, her living room pays tribute to the black and white scenes in Kansas.
I just tacked some cotton balls and, I don't know, fake grass.
Including a tornado made of chicken wire and pages from L. Frank Baum's The Wonderful Wizard of Oz.
How do you watch TV?
That's a good question.
Meanwhile, Sarah's room is more Glinda-fied for the Wicked universe.
That's supposed to be Glinda, her bubble.
But Sarah's masterpiece may just be her guest room, which she has upcycled into the many stops along the yellow brick road.
I think the hardest part was this area, like the forest.
There are so many little details you might miss, like snow in the poppy fields and Easter eggs for each of Dorothy's companions she meets along the way. Frankly, it's hard not to get wrapped up in all of the magic.
Vito, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
There's no place like home. For the record, I did ask Sarah just how many packages it took to order all these elements, and she said, quote, enough to have the doorman complain about me again. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
All right, taking another look at our 3 days, starting off in New Brunswick. 1 degree is your daytime high, a mix of sun and cloud. We do have isolated flurries to the southern region of the province. On Friday, warming up to 5 degrees on the first official day of spring. Showers and or flurries across the province transition over to rain and or snow. Saturday, sunshine returns with a high of 3. We do have flurries expected into the evening. Nova Scotia looking at a high of 1. Sunny skies with a chance of some flurry activity for parts of the province into the afternoon. Friday, sunshine returns with a high of 4. We do have rain and or snow into the evening. That continues in the forecast for Saturday with a high of 5. Prince Edward Island 0 today with sunny skies. We do have evening flurries. On Friday, 4 degrees with showers and or flurries transitioning over to rain and or snow. Scattered flurries on Saturday with a high of 4.
It's Thursday, March 19th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, unsettling allegations. Youth arrested in connection with a domestic terror plot. Your top news headlines are just ahead.
And spring cleaning hacks you can use today. We don't all love cleaning like Amanda does, so our friend Sherry French will be here to share tips and tricks to maximize your efforts. We're spring cleaning smarter, not harder, coming up. And that's this half hour and so much more on this Thursday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. And today in our Move Morning Chat, we're talking about what's something that doesn't really happen much anymore that you wish would come back. And you know what I recently thought of? Family dinners.
Yeah.
Eating together. And it doesn't have to be that big Sunday dinner, but eating together. How many people do you know, perhaps yourself, that, you know, you're on your iPad on your phone, your husband or your kids on their iPad on their phone, and you're all eating separately? I will say my husband and I do eat all our meals together when we're home.
I'm going to admit, this was highly controversial, but I would like Popeye candy sticks to come back as Popeye cigarettes with a little bit of red painted at the end again, so you can pretend you're...
I used to get in so much trouble. I'd be sitting on my staircase, like,
yeah,
like, no.
Like, I'm not saying smoking is good,
Yeah,
I'm not,
no.
but I'm just saying, you know, that was the fun of the Popeye candy.
But you know what? Speaking of candies, the penny candies.
Bring them back.
Bring them back.
A penny again. Okay, what's yours?
I would say bring back music videos.
Oh.
You know, we used to have round the clock music videos on TV. I miss sitting down and you have to record it quickly or else it's gone and you miss it because we didn't have internet back
Love
then.
a video channel.
That's a great
I want
one.
my MTV.
That's a great one.
Okay, all right. So Texas 10400, we want to hear from you. What's the thing you want to bring back? Latavia, it's all yours.
Absolutely. Well, we are bringing back the sunshine today, ladies. Yeah, right across Atlantic Canada. As you can see from our live eye in Burnt Coat Head. As of right now, it is -6 degrees heading out, so still chilly early this morning and quite cold throughout the day today. Something to keep in mind when you are heading out. -10 in Fredericton, -8 in Charlottetown, -7 in Halifax, and also into St. John's, Newfoundland. The wind chill factoring in early on today. We are going to see temperatures rise, but still remaining below seasonal for our daytime highs. And we do have that risk of frostbite across Labrador this morning. Here's a look at our satellite and radar. As I just mentioned, lots of sunshine in the forecast today. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day ahead. We do have a chance of some flurry activity returning into the afternoon for parts of Atlantic Canada. And we are also going to see some lighter wind starting off the day for the Maritime region. Nothing above 19 kilometers per hour right now in North Cape, 13 in Edmonton and Canso, 11 in Truro. No wind gusts to report at this time. We will be having a bit of a breezy day ahead. I'll have the full details coming up in the full weather forecast. But first, a look at your local news with Suzette.
Thank you so much, Latavia. Well, a youth from Bridgewater appeared in court yesterday, accused of plotting an attack at a local high school. Police allege it was part of a bigger plan that included a coordinated attack in Manitoba. CTV's Jonathan McGinnis explains.
Bridgewater police were tipped off last Friday about online chatter that included a plan to attack Parkview Education Center.
It was specific to killing and murdering other students.
The information about the attack came from Interpol, which is an international police organization, and the FBI. Police say the 15-year-old Bridgewater youth was communicating with another youth in Manitoba. Investigators believe the two were allegedly planning a simultaneous attack at Parkview and at Rivers Collegiate in the community of Rivers.
Neither attack was imminent, but obviously if you're in a planning phase or a chatting phase about a school attack, that's a concern to police enforcement.
No specific individuals were mentioned in the plan. During a search of the youth's home, investigators seized imitation weapons, a crudely made pipe bomb, clothing with hate symbols, and electronic devices. The youth is facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder and uttering threats to cause death. At this point, investigators don't believe anyone else in Nova Scotia is involved. Deputy Chief Danny McPhee says there could be more charges laid against the Bridgewater youth once they go through the electronic items that were seized. Jonathan McGinnis, CTV News, Bridgewater.
Thank you, Jonathan. 2 people are facing charges after a sizable drug bust in Charlottetown last week. Police say they seized half a kilogram of crystal meth, 187 Dilaudid pills, and other items consistent with trafficking. Canada Post inspectors supported the operation. Police allege the drugs were being mailed. 36-year-old Tyler Lanigan and 31-year-old Cheyenne Ashford were arrested and remain in custody with a court appearance scheduled for today. A 43-year-old Moncton man has been arrested in connection with a serious beating of a well-known local musician on Saturday night. John McLaren had just finished performing at a local brewery when he was attacked on the street. He was badly injured and unconscious when police arrived. Just before 8 o'clock a couple nights ago, officers arrested Luke Powers, who was charged with aggravated assault. He remains behind bars until a court appearance tomorrow. Well, this might be a first. Some Nova Scotians are criticizing an item in the New Brunswick budget, and they're getting support from neighbours who are also upset by the province's plan to start charging tolls along the Trans-Canada Highway near the border. CTV's Derek Haggett has reaction.
The thought of having to pay a couple of bucks to enter New Brunswick isn't sitting well with people in the border town of Amherst.
I don't like it.
I think it's just terrible.
When I found out about it, I just thought it's kind of a silly idea.
The New Brunswick government announced the toll in its provincial budget yesterday, estimating it will bring in over $10 million in revenue per year. The news, a bit of a shock to the mayor of Amherst.
This added tax, because quite frankly, that's what a toll is. It's a tax. And I think that, unfortunately, we're going to bear the brunt of it here in Cumberland County and Amherst.
Out-of-province vehicles traveling on the Trans-Canada will have to pay a fee at a tolling station to be built in the Olac area.
I think it's just terrible. It's a tax on the local residents here more than it is a tax on people driving through New Brunswick as it is intended. About 1/3 of the workforce from Amherst leaves to go to work in New Brunswick every day.
It's hard on especially minimum wage workers. It's hard for them to go back and forth and still make a living. If you're going for pleasure, it's a little bit more understandable.
It's going to slow sales down also for businesses in Amherst and probably New Brunswick with the toll. People don't want to pay extra money to go into a province.
The amount is yet to be determined, but a spokesperson for the province tells CTV News it could be similar to the $4 per vehicle toll at the Cobequid Pass in Nova Scotia.
people that have to go to the Moncton Hospital, George Dumont, those things, extra cost to them. And, it's hard times right now.
The province of New Brunswick says the exact location of the tolling station in the Olac area is still yet to be determined. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Amherst, Nova Scotia.
And a day after it was tabled, some groups are expressing frustration with what wasn't in the New Brunswick budget. They were expecting efforts to curb spending. Instead, the government is piling $6 billion more onto debt.
This is horrifying that this government thinks that they can sell to New Brunswickers a deficit spending program that they have no plan to get out of. They're not even trying, Madam Speaker.
The budget that we have put forward does something that I can understand that the members opposite might not be familiar with. It tackles years of underspending in healthcare, and it puts New Brunswickers first.
We were surprised by the lack of tough spending decisions in this budget that has led us to, the biggest deficit this province has ever seen.
The debate later moved to concerns about how the province's credit rating would be affected. As of yesterday, it stayed at A or higher.
Okay. There's an old song that says the cat came back the very next day. Really old song. Well, this cat came back 5 years later.
Wow.
Melissa and Brooke Garcia say Artemis was an indoor-outdoor cat, but one night in September of 2021, she just never came home. They posted flyers, they searched the area high and low with no luck. Eventually, they moved from that home and gave up hope of ever finding her. Well, a call came in just a few days ago from the Humane Society that they had Artemis, and they were in shock. At the reunion, Artemis walked right over to the family and rubbed on their legs. The Humane Society says they're glad this story has a happy ending, but it's a reminder about the importance of microchipping your pets.
Absolutely.
Big time.
Hi, Artemis.
What a little miracle.
I know.
Who would have thought?
He's like, guys, do I have a storage for you?
Exactly. Wish cats could talk.
Exactly.
All right. Here's your chance to win this month's Kent Big Bucket giveaway. It's very easy. If you like the sounds of a $500 gift card for the Kent Lighting Department, who doesn't? Head over to ctvatlantic. It is a great lights there. ctvatlantic.ca. Click on the contest link. Use that QR code if that's the way you like to do things. The winner will be announced Friday, March 27th. Good luck to you.
Exciting. Oh, they have a great lighting department.
They do.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, we still have a lot more to come. Some look at national, international headlines. But first, a look at the all-important weather forecast on the last day of winter. How lovely. A live look at Sambro Harbor this morning. Isn't that stunning? Stay with us. It's 8:09. Your Morning Atlantic. We'll be right back.
Beautiful view early this morning in Peggy's Cove. Welcome back. The time now is 8:12 on your Thursday morning. -7 degrees heading outdoors over in Peggy's Cove. We are seeing cooler temperatures starting off your day right across the region. As of right now, it is -9 in Fredericton, -7 in Charlottetown and Sydney, -6 degrees in Halifax, -34 in Labrador City, and -6 starting off your day in St. John's, Newfoundland. Over to our forecast timeline. Sunshine right across Atlantic Canada today, although a bit of a cooler day ahead, especially for those daytime highs remaining below seasonal. We are going to see increasing cloudiness into the afternoon, and also a chance of some flurry activity returns for parts of the region. Taking us into tonight, temperatures cooling back down. We are going to see a chance of showers and or flurries move in overnight. Taking us into Friday, the first official day of spring, we do have a bit of a mixed day ahead. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, not going to see any accumulation for the Maritime region, seeing around 1 to 5 centimeters of additional snowfall for Labrador City and 1 to 15 for parts of Newfoundland. So lots of sunshine across New Brunswick today. We do have a chance of flurries into the southern region this afternoon. Daytime highs between -1 to 3 degrees and wind gusts of 40. Prince Edward Island, much of the same, but we are going to see that sunshine sticking around throughout your day. Flurries don't arrive until this evening with highs between -2 to 0. And for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, lots of sunshine as well early on. We are going to see increasing cloudiness into the afternoon. A chance of flurries returns. Daytime highs between -1 to 2 degrees. For the rest of Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. Lots of sunshine today, but we do have a chance of some flurry activity for mainland Nova Scotia into the afternoon, wind gusts of 40, and daytime highs between 0 to 3 degrees. For Labrador City at -11 today, we do have mainly sunny skies starting off your day, a chance of flurries into the afternoon. -3 for St. John's, Newfoundland, a mix of sun and cloud with snow arriving into the evening. So on Friday's forecast, We do have a bit of sunshine starting off into the day and continues into the afternoon, but we do have a chance of showers and or flurries moving back in. A little bit of light snowfall for parts of Labrador, flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland. Then into Friday night, transitions over to snow and or rain for all 3 maritime provinces. And we are going to see that into Saturday's forecast, and temperatures remain seasonal. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Suzette.
Thank you so much, Latavia. Well, new attacks on oil and gas facilities in the Middle East are raising major concern in the financial markets worldwide. In the U.S., the Pentagon has reportedly asked the White House to request more money from Congress to fund the war. ABC's Patrick Gravel has the latest from Doha.
Overnight, a dramatic escalation in attacks on energy facilities in the Middle East, causing oil and gas prices to jump. Qatar reporting multiple fires at the world's largest liquefied natural gas terminal. The Qatari government saying Iranian missiles targeting the terminal. The new escalation triggered by Israel bombing the world's largest gas field in Iran, the South Pars gas field. Iran vowing to retaliate. Trump warning if that were to happen, the U.S. will massively blow up the entirety of the South Pars gas field. Iran has also threatened energy sites in the UAE and Saudi Arabia. This explosion in the Saudi capital. The Washington Post reports the Pentagon has now requested another $200 billion for the war. U.S. Central Command says more than 7,800 targets have now been struck in Iran and 120 Iranian ships have been damaged or destroyed. National Intelligence Director Tulsi Gabbard testified on Capitol Hill yesterday. She was asked whether Iran posed an immediate threat before the U.S. attacked.
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Okay.
That is up to the president based on a volume of information that he receives.
It is precisely your responsibility to determine what constitutes a threat to the United States.
The only person who can determine what is and is not an imminent threat is the president.
No, you're evading a question because to provide a candid response to the committee would contradict a statement from the White House.
The Strait of Hormuz, of course, remains paralyzed, and the longer this war goes on, the greater the economic consequences, and there is no quick end in sight. Patrick Reevell, ABC News, Doha.
And the impact from the war factored into the Bank of Canada's latest interest rate decision. For now, no change.
The issue for us is not really the immediate increase in inflation. We know that's going to happen. It's does that start to get generalized, start to spread, start to look more persistent.
The central bank announced it's holding the key rate steady at 2.25%. Tiff Mackel said the Bank of Canada will continue to monitor the economic impacts of the war in Iran. And as Cuba continues to struggle with an energy crisis, 2 major Canadian airlines are extending their suspension of flights to the island. WestJet says most Cuba trips are canceled right through October, although 2 of its tour package divisions hope to start up again in June. Air Transat says it won't resume flights to Cuba until June. Refunds are available for affected passengers at both airlines. Cuba has partially restored its power grid following a nationwide blackout that reportedly lasted for more than 29 hours. It's the 3rd major blackout in 4 months. All right, it is 8:17 on this Thursday morning. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic. We'll be right back.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
You may have noticed on the show lately that we are pretty excited for spring, and we don't have to wait much longer. Spring starts tomorrow, and something we're maybe less excited about is spring cleaning. But our friend and livestock contributor Sherry French is back with some easy hacks. Good morning, Sherry.
Good morning. Yes, spring has almost sprung, and it's that time we always have, great ambitions to spring clean. I've got some ideas to help you get through it and get some things done at least.
Well, let's start off with a winning formula you've got for us.
The 5-5-5. So it's something that I actually use. So you're going to set your timer for 5 minutes. You're going to find 5 places in your house. So maybe it's your junk drawer. The utensil drawer is what I did last night. And then you're going to pull out 5 things that you do not need. Look at that drawer. Tell me I need 17 wooden spoons or the, 23 spatulas, the silicone spatulas. I do not. So it's just a great way to get motivated, do things quick in 5 spots, get rid of them, declutter. I was talking to my very good friend Kelly last night, and she has the 15-minute rule. So what that is, turn it on your timer for 15 minutes, get as much done as you can anywhere in your house, and get stuff out, especially in the spring.
I love it. 555, easy peasy. Nothing feels better than getting rid of stuff you don't use. And gosh, usually when you get started, you actually do go longer, but that's perfect. Okay, ceilings and ceiling fans. Constant problem for me. We have one in our bedroom, and it just seems to get dusty like as soon as I clean it. So how can I manage this?
Yeah, I'm looking at my ceiling fan right now, and you don't want to do is this. You don't want to take your Swiffer or your duster and dust off those fan blades. You know why? It's on your floor, it's on your bed, it's on yourself. Gross. We do not want to use this. What we want to use is a pillowcase. So simple, can be any kind of size pillowcase. You're going to put it over that fan blade, pull away so all of the dust stays inside. It doesn't go on your bed, it doesn't go on your floor, and just throw that into the laundry, get it washed, and you can use it again for your pillow. But, keeping clean is the key thing.
Oh, super easy and very, very smart. I love that. Okay, what's our next tip?
So I love the garbage can. So you can buy the fancy bags that smell nice. You don't need to. All you're going to do is take one of your dryer sheets. You're going to place that in the bottom of your garbage can, and then you're going to place your garbage bag over. What this does, it smells great. You have to pay the extra for that smelly fancy bag, but it also, if anything spills, it will quickly grab it up and clean it up. So easy, and again, saving you money at the same time.
Oh my gosh, that's a genius hack. It's kind of like that thing at the bottom of a tray of meat that you buy from the store. It kind of absorbs a thing, but it smells good. I love that. Okay,
fancy.
The deep cleaning, the dreaded deep cleaning. Tell us more.
Well, the shower head, right? Because how many times do you get into your shower and you're like, it is not coming out as hard as it says it should be. It's all blocked up with calcium. Easy hack. You're just going to take a plastic Ziploc bag, any size. You're going to pour some white vinegar into that bag, and then you're going to place that around your shower head just with an elastic. So what basically you're doing is soaking that shower head in the vinegar, leave it overnight. So when you hop in the shower in the morning, I promise you, you're going to have a much cleaner shower head, and you're going to get the best shower and it not be, just dripping out. Sometimes I know it when it's happening, and I immediately do this hack. Oh, well, it's so easy. It cleans it right up.
Enviro-friendly, inexpensive. Love that. That is just all your tips are like that. Okay, I think we have time for 2 more. So what's the next one?
So the lampshade. I mean, who really cleans their lampshade? But I promise you, everyone right now, go take your finger over one of the lampshades in your house. It's yuck. So this is an easy one. A lint roller is preferred. I could not find one in my house. But another great hack, if you don't have a lint roller, you're just going to take some tape. It could be packing tape. It could be masking tape, whatever you want. You're going to make that in a ring. And all you're going to do is put that over, and it's going to perform just like a lint roller. And I can't tell you how gross this lampshade was once we did this, but it's easy and quick, and you're going to have a clean lampshade as soon as you use a lint roller or even just this tape hack. Again,
oh my gosh, so satisfying. Okay, finally an ironing tip that sounds simple, but it's a game changer.
This is my mother's hack. I hope my mom's watching today, because this is a great one. She irons like a pro. Not that I really iron, but if I do have to iron, this is how I do it. I used to always put it up with the buttons upside, and you're, trying to make your way around those buttons. Turn the buttons and put them upside down. So literally you have a straight way to clean and do your iron. Like, do not go around those buttons. This is how, until my mother said, what are you doing? Why are you ironing like this? Turn the buttons facing down, and you have a clean spot to iron, and so much faster and less stressful.
Oh my
Not that
gosh,
ironing's stressful.
But
it's stressful for me.
It is. Well, a lot of people put it off because it is time consuming, and that's the part they hate the most. Sherry, genius. Thank you so much for all these hacks. I actually am going to use some of these today. Appreciate it.
Get home and get cleaning, everybody.
Speaking of spring, tomorrow's the first official day of spring, but today we're looking at 1 degree for New Brunswick, a mix of sun and cloud, isolated flurries for the southern region. On Friday, warming up to 5 degrees, a chance of showers and or flurries transition over to evening rain and or snow. On Saturday, looking at a high of 3 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud and evening flurries. For Nova Scotia today, a high of 1 as well. Lots of sunshine with a chance of flurries into the afternoon for parts of the province on the first official day of spring. 4 degrees as your daytime high, a mix of sun and cloud, evening rain and or snow. That continues in the forecast for Saturday with a high of 5. Prince Edward Island 0 today with a mix of sun and cloud, flurries into the evening. On Friday, 4 degrees, showers and or flurries with evening rain and or snow. On Saturday, scattered flurries with a high of 4.
Still to come this morning, finding little moments of joy. A whole day of self-care may be hard to come by, but searching out micro moments can be just as beneficial. We'll chat with a happiness researcher just ahead, right here on CTV Morning Live.
Welcome back, Atlantic Canada. The time now is 8:30. Half hour left in the show. It has flown by today.
It really flown by.
The whole week, really.
Yeah, fun day it's been. And tomorrow is World Happiness Day.
How fun is that?
Today,
Spring arrives.
Spring arrives. It's a happy day.
And it's Friday.
And it's Friday. Gosh.
Yeah.
Yippee-doo.
Whoa.
Win-win.
Win-win indeed.
It is, yeah.
Well, speaking of today's forecast, it's not going to feel necessarily like spring, but it's going to look like it.
I'm
Well,
here
there
for
you go.
that.
I'll take
That's
some sun.
fine.
Take it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, my gosh. Glorious.
That's fine with me.
Yeah, it's beautiful outside. Right across Atlantic Canada, you'll be seeing sunshine as well. As of right now in Truro, it is -6 degrees, so a bit cool, especially when you factor in that wind chill. Temperatures will rise a little bit later, but we're still going to see below seasonal daytime highs headed our way. -9 in Fredericton, -7 in Charlottetown and Sydney, -6 in Halifax, as well as into St. John's, Newfoundland. So here's a look at that wind chill early this morning. It is going to feel cooler, but as I mentioned, a warm-up is on its way. We do have that risk of frostbite in Labrador. Over to our satellite and radar, sunny skies for all 3 maritime provinces, extending into Newfoundland and Labrador as well. We do have a chance of some flurry activity returning for parts of the region into the afternoon, but other than that, going to be quite a lovely day ahead. In terms of the wind, slowly beginning to pick up. It's going to be a bit breezy today for the Maritimes. As of right now, 20 kilometers per hour into North Cape with 15 in Canso and Halifax, 13 in Lunenburg, Woodstock and Edmundston. No wind gusts to report at this time. We'll take one last look at your long-range forecast, but first, one last look at your local news with Suzette.
Thank you so much, Latavia. A youth from Bridgewater appeared in court this morning, accused of plotting an attack at a local high school. Police allege it was part of a bigger plan that included a coordinated attack in Manitoba. CTV's Jonathan McGuinness has more on yesterday's court appearance.
Bridgewater police were tipped off last Friday about online chatter that included a plan to attack Parkview Education Center.
It was specific to killing and murdering other students.
The information about the attack came from Interpol, which is an international police organization, and the FBI. Police say the 15-year-old Bridgewater youth was communicating with another youth in Manitoba. Investigators believe the two were allegedly planning a simultaneous attack at Parkview and at Rivers Collegiate in the community of Rivers.
Neither attack was imminent, but obviously if you're in a planning phase or a chatting phase about a school attack, that's a concern to police enforcement.
No specific individuals were mentioned in the plan. During a search of the youth's home, investigators seized imitation weapons, a crudely made pipe bomb, clothing with hate symbols, and electronic devices. The youth is facing charges of conspiracy to commit murder and uttering threats to cause death. At this point, investigators don't believe anyone else in Nova Scotia is involved. Deputy Chief Danny McPhee says there could be more charges laid against the Bridgewater youth once they go through the electronic items that were seized. Jonathan McGuinness, CTV News, Bridgewater.
And 2 people are facing charges after a sizable drug bust in Charlottetown last week. Police say they seized half a kilogram of crystal meth, 187 Dilaudid pills, and other items consistent with trafficking. Canada Post inspectors supported the operation. Police allege the drugs were being mailed. 36-year-old Tyler Lanigan and 31-year-old Cheyenne Ashford were arrested and remain in custody with a court appearance scheduled for today. 43-year-old Moncton man has been arrested in connection with a serious beating of a well-known local musician Saturday night. John McLaren had just finished performing at a local brewery when he was attacked on the street. He was badly injured and unconscious when police arrived. Just before 8 o'clock a couple nights ago, officers arrested Luke Powers, who was charged with aggravated assault. He remains behind bars until a court appearance tomorrow. Finally, ask any small business owner and they will tell you retail crime is more common than ever right now. From shoplifting to physical assaults, they've had enough and are demanding support. CTV's Avery McRae has more.
It's a quiet Wednesday at the Consign Boutique in East St. John, but that doesn't mean eyes aren't watching from above in case of any mischief.
It's not like we say, oh, come on in, we'll turn our backs as you go and steal something in our store. We do everything we can to prevent theft in our store.
A rise in crime across New Brunswick has prompted Atlantic Director for the Retail Council of Canada, Jim Cormier, to take a quick trip to the province in hopes of raising awareness on the issue and find solutions.
There are retail workers involved that are being threatened. They're being physically assaulted, verbally assaulted. They don't deserve to have to deal with that. And so, we need help.
St. John Police Staff Sergeant Shauna Fowler says overall property crime in the city is down 24% from this time last year, which could be the result of more police foot patrols in the uptown. But that could be expanded if they get reports of more incidents elsewhere.
It is important for retailers to report to us so that, we can determine statistics or trends or have data to support where we need more presence or boots on the ground.
Lori Wheeler says many small businesses are now turning to social media as a way to shame people who are caught stealing, which she admits at times is having a greater impact on deterring theft than police. Avery McRae, CTV News, St. John.
Certainly very interesting to follow. You see it in the major grocery stores as well now. More
I don't like it.
And it's
shoplifting and vandalism. They get my knickers in a knot.
Yeah.
Do not like it. I do like this. Okay, this is a moment I wish I could have seen in person. Soccer superstar Lionel Messi has reached another milestone in his legendary career.
Maguillan is there, cutting it back in. Lionel Messi looking for a shot. He scores! Lionel Messi, the 900th goal of his illustrious career.
900 goals. The Argentinian World Cup champion has scored that milestone in Inter Miami's match against Nashville. Messi joins Cristiano Ronaldo, but Ronaldo did it in fewer games.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Both of them.
Still a big deal.
Yeah, Messi's incredible to watch him play. I haven't been in person, but to watch it on TV, it's incredible. He's so talented.
It is.
Wow. Yeah.
To see the magic happen in person.
See the magic happen.
Imagine. Yeah. All right, now we're going to talk about events taking place in our region with the community calendar. So we're going to start off with Shop and Support Local at the Keswick Community Spring Market this Saturday in Burt's Corner. This is in New Brunswick. Enjoy a curated indoor market featuring local vendors, handmade items, and a food truck. So the market opens at 10 a.m. at the local Lions Club and it goes on until 3. And the 2026 Winter Bluegrass Festival kicks off today in Charlottetown. Join the PEI Bluegrass and Old Time Music Society for a lineup of amazing talent featuring local, regional, and international artists. For a full lineup and full details, visit peibluegrass.ca/winterfestival. And up, and away. If you're looking for a fun activity with your family this March break, visit the Atlantic Canada Aviation Museum. This is in, is it Goffs?
Good question.
You know what?
Okay.
It's by the airport.
Well, forgive me. Yes,
it's right by the airport.
Goffs in Nova Scotia. It is near the airport, like Suzette just mentioned. Enjoy the kids' cockpit and their impressive collection of 25 aircrafts. Visit camuseum.ca for more information. And if you have an upcoming event, send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca. Time now 8:38. We'll be right back. Stick with us. Good morning. The time now is 8:41. We're taking a live look at a beautiful sunny start to the day over in Chester. Currently -7 degrees in your area, so it is cooler starting off the day right across Atlantic Canada. Temperatures expected to rise, but still going to remain below seasonal today. As of right now, -9 in Fredericton, -7 in Charlottetown and Sydney, -6 degrees early this morning in Halifax, -34 in Labrador City, and -6 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Sunshine right across Atlantic Canada today. We are going to see a chance of some flurry activity into the afternoon for parts of Atlantic Canada. But other than that, it's going to remain quite a lovely day, although on the cooler side of things. Tonight, temperatures cool back down. We do have a low pressure system moving in, bringing a chance of showers and or flurries back around for the Maritime region, and light snowfall, flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland and Labrador. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, not going to see much accumulation for the Maritime region, looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters for Labrador City, 1 to 15 centimeters for parts of Newfoundland. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, lots of sunshine today. We do have that chance of flurry activity into the afternoon for the southern region. Daytime highs will range from -1 to 3 degrees, wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island, lots of sunshine across the island today as well. We do have flurries into the evening. Daytime highs between -2 to 0. And for Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. Lots of sunshine today. We do have that chance of flurries into the afternoon for parts of Cape Breton, and daytime highs ranging from -2 to +2. For the rest of Nova Scotia, sunny skies, flurries for mainland Nova Scotia into the afternoon. Daytime highs between 0 to 3 degrees and wind gusts of 40 as well. For Labrador City, a -11 today, mainly sunny skies. Flurries arrive into the afternoon, around a 40% chance of it happening. -3 degrees for St. John's, Newfoundland, a mix of sun and cloud with snow arriving into the evening. For our forecast, as you can see here for Friday, the first official day of spring, we do have a chance of showers and or flurries for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. And then for Newfoundland and Labrador, a bit of snowfall expected as well into Friday night. This flurry activity transitions over to steadier rain and or snow, bringing us into the forecast for Saturday morning. We start to see this system clear out. We are going to see sunshine return, temperatures cooling back down, but still dealing with a bit of mixed precipitation, Crystal.
All right, thank you so much, Octavia. It's 8:43. Now, after months of heavy headlines and even heavier weather, most Atlantic Canadians are ready for a reset. With spring's arrival tomorrow, it's the perfect time to recognize and create more moments of joy in our lives. And our next guest is here to help us do just that. Dr. Gillian Mandrich is a university professor and happiness expert whose research is designed to help people live their happiest, healthiest lives. Good morning, Gillian.
Good morning. I am so happy to be here with you today.
Well, we are ready for a chat about happiness. How important is it to find small moments of joy in our day?
Oh, it is so important, because the reality is that we think happiness is built in these like big grand gestures, right? The trips, the vacation, the purses, the cars, whatever it is. But the reality is, when we look to the research, it's built in what we call micro moments. So when we look at research in terms of positive psychology, what we see is that small, repeated positive experiences, they accumulate and they actually add up to a lot more happiness than those moments. And not only that, but they also meaningfully influence our well-being. So when we think about, a 5-minute pause, a shared snack, a moment of sunlight, walking your dog, really creating these goodness breaks in our day when we can step away and we can slow down and we can enjoy something we genuinely like. Actually, I don't know if you can hear right now, I have a French bulldog behind me who's snorting, but, sitting with him, or I love to wake up in the morning and cuddle with him, or in the afternoon, I'll make a cup of tea and I'll have a Loaker wafer and I'll sit on the couch and just pause to reset and to really restore balance and to check in with my physiology.
Okay, tomorrow is the International Day of Happiness, and it's marked around the world. How does connection influence our happiness? Because we're very much connected now, especially with social media all around the world.
Absolutely. So what we know from research is the #1 predictor of both our long-term health and our happiness is social connection. So above how much money we make, our age, our race, our gender, our education level, social connection is #1. And what we know is that when we found recent Loaker Canada survey findings found that connection is central to happiness. And all of the data in the research supports this as well, because what we know is that the science at this point is unequivocal. Social connection is one of the strongest predictors of both our happiness, our health, our longevity, our health span, and our lifespan. So the number of years that we live and the number of healthy years that we live. And what we see is that when we connect with people, these shared experiences amplify our positive emotions.
Interesting. How can we, a lot of us are busy, we're kind of just running from thing to thing. I've been in this trap many times myself. How can we slow down to actually create these little mindful moments in our day?
Oh, this is such a good question because like the reality is that life is like go, go, go. And you kind of wake up in the morning and it's just like to-do list after to-do list, right? And so what we know from our survey is that nearly half of Canadians associate happiness with indulging in a sweet treat. And I'm a happiness researcher and I'm saying that because one of the things I think we sort of tend to extremes, but when we really look and we slow down and we take a moment to savor and to indulge in something that's delicious and be mindful about it, the real mechanism behind all of that is the slowing down. It's that stress, it often narrows our attention. And when we slow down, it helps to widen it. So when we sort of take a moment to have like a sweet treat, I'll sit down, I'll make a cup of tea, I'll make a low acre wafer, put it on my little cup, and I'll just enjoy that. And what we see is that it's this transition moment, whether it's after work or before the gym or doing an afternoon reset, it's really this intentional cue that we create to shift our state. And that is something that's absolutely key to our happiness and our well-being.
Well, it's funny you say that because in recent years, I've really put some energy on kind of trying to find joy in every day because not every day is joyful, as you well know. You're going to run up against it. Probably most of us, every day, there's going to be something that out of your control. There's like, so you got to I find these moments of joy. And I really do like my morning coffee here at the station. I put the pod in and I have it and I make it a little extra hot. And that first sip, I'm just like, I'm shivering with delight. Like I really lean into that. And I can see picking up a little cookie and just feeling, say it's a chocolate one, like feeling the chocolate, feeling the texture of the cookie. Those are moments they really do. If you actually take a second to lean into them, they actually make your day better.
Oh my gosh, I love that you said that because it's so true. And often I'm a happiness researcher, so I spend all of my time, thinking and talking to people about happiness. And what I often hear is that we think it's these big moments, right? But the reality is that it really comes down to taking that time, taking a pause, having those little moments where we get to enjoy life, we get to savor things, we get to just sort of take a reset. Because often what it is these micro moments that actually cumulatively add up to a lot more happiness than those big moments.
I'll tell you.
We have to, and I love that you said you took the time because we actually have to be intentional and deliberate about that. And that's a really key piece.
Yeah. And one thing I'll quickly add is that when you are, at first it's hard work sometimes to find the joy, especially like if the weather's horrible outside and you're just like, enough. You really have to struggle to kind of find the joy in things. But eventually, I don't know, that it just becomes way, way easier. And then you just see it everywhere. Okay, this is a question from the control room. The World Happiness Report came out today. Canada has dropped from 18th to 25th. And I wonder, do you have any thoughts on why? I know you haven't had a chance to really dig into this research, but this is what you do. Why do you think Canadians are slipping a bit?
I know it kind of feels like Christmas morning to me right now because every year this report comes out and I wake up early to go read it. So it's actually a really sad moment because Canada for many years was in the top 10 in this report. And so what we see is that one of the big things that we're missing is this social connection piece. And the other piece of it is really about, what we see in research is that satisfaction increases when we perceive quality and intentionality. And one of the big things is about shared meals, communal meals. And when we choose foods that have real high quality ingredients, it aligns with this broader physiological principle about coherence, where our choices match our values. And that congruence supports well-being. And so when we sit down and we share meals together and we get to spend one, the quality time, but two, also having, really healthy meals together. That's one of the big things. When we look at who's at the top of that list, it's often the Nordic countries. And one of the big things that we see for them is that they have these shared communal meals together.
Yeah, I think you're right. I did get to go to Denmark a couple years ago, and when I woke up in the morning, the apartment, it was amazing. We stayed in an Airbnb at a normal place, and if you looked around, all the windows, everybody had little candles, and they were in there having their coffee and having their little snack. And I think that they, yes, gather for meals, but I think they also do find those micro moments of joy, like just lighting a little candle in the morning. And I think they call it romancing your life, but it works.
Yeah, we often overcomplicate things and we get in our head, right? But when we look, happiness is so closely linked to goodness, whether it's ingredients or craftsmanship or experiences or shared meals or connection with good food and people. And so when we think about that, I think it's one of those instances where we actually have to sort of work to override our natural tendency and our default, because we often just get on that hamster wheel of go, 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 go,
Yeah.
but really taking that time. And, you know, what we see with this research from Loaker, we see is mindful indulgence it really plays a role, specifically with Canadians, about how we manage stress, how we restore balance, and how we find joy. And what we see is that Canadians are most likely to feel happy when we slow down.
Well,
When
I
we
love
connect
that.
with other people, when we enjoy those simple pleasures, right?
And
We don't-
ironically, I have to wrap up this interview because we've run out of time. They gave us a little extra time, and Jillian, it's been a joy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Have a happy day.
Oh, you made me happy today. Have a wonderful day.
You as well. Have a great day. Thanks for sharing your wisdom with our viewers. It's 8:52. We'll take a little break and be back to wrap up the show right after this.
All right, welcome back, everyone. 8:55 on this Thursday morning. Thank you for spending, your day with us, part of your day with us. It's been fun.
It has been fun. Yeah. Great little group today with the three of you. And Jillian, great chat about happiness with it being World Happiness Day tomorrow. I love to reminisce. That's one of the things that makes me happy. So what do we get from our viewer chats today?
Oh, let's take a look. Do you have the clicker?
Yeah, I do have the
clicker. There we go. Let's take a look. Okay, I'd love to see kids playing outdoors. Bring back hopscotch and double dutch.
Skipping.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I love skipping. Absolutely.
We agree with you, Valerie.
Oh, yeah. Wiggly worm. So many good games you play with skipping.
That's a good one. Playing outside.
Absolutely.
You're right. All right, LJ from Middleton says, I would love to have people boxing items to return to grocery stores, helping to pack and carry out my groceries. It was a wonderful service, which I liked when I was younger, and now that I'm older, I would appreciate it even more.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one.
That's a great idea. I remember, I don't know if this happened in your communities, but back in Yarmouth, sometimes the kids would do it as fundraisers for their hockey team, and you'd give a little donation, and they'd bag your groceries.
I love that. Also, that rolly thing.
Yeah.
That at the grocery store. Oh, yeah. Talk about a moment of joy.
Oh, this is fun. Paul in Hammond's Plain says, remember the days of real maps to get us around, as we had to still stop and ask for directions. Don't you remember?
My goodness, MapQuest and all the 5-10 pages you have to get
remember
somewhere.
that. Yeah.
And that wasn't that long ago.
No.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Maybe the last decade.
Yeah.
You know?
But they would be good to keep the real maps in the glove box, because sometimes the GPS does throw you off. And I know my husband especially really likes to see the route before.
Oh,
we go.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, well, tomorrow is World Happiness Day. So today is World Happiness Day Eve. So to put a little smile on your face, here's a baby's reaction to its very first cheeseburger. Oh, yeah.
Heaven.
That
dance it out, buddy.
Good. Just like the clothes, he's like, what has just happened?
Yeah, what did I just...
I bet that's a good bacon cheeseburger.
Oh, looks good.
Ho.
Do the happy dance, buddy.
My gosh, love that, yeah.
All right, so tomorrow, big day here on the morning show. It is the QE2 Home Lottery's bonus prize deadline. Crystal's touring the Fall River Grand Prize Show Home. We'll take you there.
For sure. It's going to be a great day. Okay, enjoy the sunshine. See you tomorrow. Bye.